is
Hello,
such a good
all.
name. Oh my god.
All and welcome. I'm your not so humble game master TJ. This is Dice of Ages presenting CrestVahllen, the Baker's Dozen. We are here and back, still in the court cases. We have Toast here. Hello, Toast. Subbing in for Cameron for the moment until they come back. Hello, Toast. Hello.
Hi, Toast.
Okay.
Hey, Toast.
And so let's get right into it. Let's go to the recap. We are still in court, my friends. So last time, meeting with the lead prosecutor. Oh, no, that didn't happen last time. That happened the time before last time. So during the court-appointed recess and after a scoop had officially adopted Hurt behind closed doors, the Baker's Dozen come face-to-face with the Koenig Magus, Rolam Bakra, Rolambakra, an 11-year-old human child who seems to be a well-treated sorcerer/wizard extraordinaire. He notes that he's not allowed to repeat anything that is disclosed to him while engaged in court-appointed sending services, but lets it slip that his predecessor recently disappeared. Tammy's message to Pendleton Beauville is a plead for help, accompanied by the description of the counter-lawsuit for piracy the group is being accused of, but such is met with an exasperated response. The Koenig Magus relays from Pendleton that there's been a motion to make the College of the Unearthed secede from the other Bardic colleges, and that the Lithuan Confederacy could be granted ownership. While the Bardic Dean desires to aid Tammy by serving as a character witness, it seems like a lower priority given the current troubles of the auxiliary institution. The group further refines their arguments for the military trial with the aid of their lawyer. Olario chimes in regards to Tammy's argument for not being able to do Bardic research without his crew, as such basis may not be strong enough against the accusations of treason and piracy. The nascent barristers realize that it wouldn't be piracy against a nation if they are able to prove that the members of the military went outside the scope of their orders and or duties. For their own personal case, the gang decide to make the argument that Captain Imada was not of sound mind when the bombardment of Zoncourt and the denizen Tinanawi were ordered. This would need to be a multi-pronged approach between finding the appropriate witnesses and obtaining state secret evidence documenting Fruth and Imada's employment. Documenting Fruth Lovood's employment coinciding with the captain's drastic change in character. The group also realizes that discussions of the captain's fraternization with Zari Lotfi, the Tinanawi first mate, would need to be carefully considered when and if delivered to avoid the distraught captain from being court-martialed. Amongst strategic discussion, Mesheni suggests that the Koenig Magus' services to send a message to Lady Rhea, but the young mage becomes concerned that contacting another head of state to potentially intervene could be regarded as a treasonous act. The young mage admits that he used to be on familiar terms with the relatively new sovereign of the Protectorate during his tenure at the Midnight Athenaeum, as the Mayitan decides to hold off on seditious acts for the time being. Instead, the Maresian cohort requests that a magical missive be sent to her twin, which soon alerts the party to the fall of the College of the Animajin at the efforts of the religious zealots in Babas. With strategies planned, Scoop and Tammy decide to spearhead the legal arguments within the courtroom, while Nakano and Mesheni depart in order to perform some extracurriculars out of court. The blind justice presides, asking the blue barrister to call his first witness. Cookie, a dwarven half-orc, is summoned upon the stand, with his semi-crumpled chef's hat and stained apron demonstrating the sincerity of their culinary service. He describes his eyewitness and character accounts of Captain Imada's swiftly changing demeanor quickly after Fruth joined the crew of the Cauldron Initiative's flagship vessel. Tammy leans into the food metaphors that the cook uses to describe the captain's mental and emotional state, able to leverage the platonic love that the Northern Dynasty military has for its leaders, gaining sympathy from the jury of the Ryomi. Cookie makes eye contact with the emotionally fragile Captain Imada in attendance, eliciting a tense moment, as Bellario's objection to her staying within the courtroom is met by Tammy's combatively competent oratory skills, convincing the judge that the accused naval officer should be allowed to hear the testimony being brought forth against them. With that, the Fearbog's vigilant gaze ascertains that the defense attorney seems caught off guard, suggesting that he may not be as argumentatively nimble with the military case. The blue bosun closes his examination with some Drakesh tears and a heartfelt sympathy, as Bellario keeps his cross-examination brief, asking the chief if it was within the realm of their duties to act as the ship's counselor, harping on the lack of official certification in psychology and/or psychiatry. Cookie's negative responses and Bellario's subsequent examples of the Cauldron Initiative ships that don't usually have a ship's counselor on board trips up the sorcerer's Drakesh, as he admits that there has not been a mental health professional on board the Panbringer throughout the length of its service,
okay.
as their own chef has served as a mere facsimile.
It's okay.
Simultaneously, Misheni seeks medical certification to allow her to legally practice in the Twin Isles and to testify as an expert witness with credulity. Through Olario's connections with Lugi, a half-gnome, half-goblin, and perhaps licentious sawbones, the Maresian surgeon is able to obtain a medical bonification, while the doctor performs autopic surgery on a not-so-dead patient. Nakano improves the validity of the paperwork, forging the date to be just a couple days after the Maitan discovered the disillusion of her alma mater. Nakano's roguish solo escapades during the slapdash surgery serve to the duo well, as the Ibkest is able to pinpoint the covert Vodomo's whereabouts within an estate in the upper-class district of Namang. With their prey tracked, and Nakano and Misheni plan to purloin state secrets from the upper echelons of the Northern Dynasty, Ascoop and Tammy contemplate their next witnesses. So that's where we are. Let's go into the out-of-court action, since it seems like Ascoop and Tammy are still contemplating.
One quick thing.
Sure.
I'd like to make the deal for
You got it.
Misheni.
You can make the
Okay.
deal.
All right.
Anything else?
Nope, I think.
Okay, cool. So, as I had mentioned before, out-of-court actions affect the aspect modifier. And the aspect modifier is what adds and collates to a DC for the end of the court. So, the better you do in your out-of-court actions, the better the overall modifier of the entire case, the DC of the entire case gets reduced because to a certain modifier of the aspect, like judge, jury, prosecution, defense, and what have you. So let's do this then. So Nakano, you have pretty much pinpointed the room, the district, the block, and the room where this individual, as the Vodomo, is supposed to be, as you have done quite good tracking. You can clue Misheni in on everything that you have found. So I would say what helped you figure this out is your interaction with the Vodomo previously. That was quite startling and jarring. Helped you track them down quite a bit, and it also made it to the point where it's a little interesting to you that this individual is still here. They don't feel like your instincts tell you they probably don't feel safe enough to make an appearance and be like in attendance at court, but they're still here. Meaning to you, being smart and
Here but hidden.
Yeah, here but hidden and covert. Meaning that the only reason why they would be here would be for the court. Like, why would they be here unless there's something else that they need to be taken care of?
Right.
So either they have someone that is like reporting to them about the court things, there's something that they're doing perhaps indirectly via proxy, or there's other things that they're taking care of. You're not sure. But it's like the motive here, as far as why they are still here and not doing other things, is still a little unclear to you. So that perhaps might make you a little uneasy. What that does mean is that there's the very good possibility that it's going to be difficult to find a situation where said domicile might be vacant. Because if this person is hiding, they're probably doing so with tenacity, like keeping, like staying low for good reason. So you scouted out the area. You know where it is, but as far as like any of the other information that would be involved in some type of heist or, you know, incognito or infiltration, that's going to be up to you. So go ahead.
Okay.
Is there any evidence you think that we can get from Fidelmo?
I mean, I think we have to find like some sort of documentation that they ordered it, right? Like, or it was Ruth's actual stay. Like, we need to find the file, basically. I don't know if it'd be on them, but I mean, we can't know unless we go there, right?
Right. Okay.
Do we know if
Maybe.
they're like magically inclined? You know?
Yeah. Unless like one of us like, because I know I'm pretty sure I have an idea of where he's at. So like maybe one of us can see when he leaves the building or the room, and the other one of us kind of does a little sneaking around, which will be me.
Yeah, I mean, you are a little bit more gifted at that than I am, I think.
Yeah.
Let me double check something, because I feel like so. If I casted that super sneaky spell, you know, you'd have to stay within 30 feet of me, but we could both be pretty sneaky. I mean, I feel like considering it's state
think that's
secrets,
fine.
and yeah, I mean, I can get up on the roof or whatever if we need to. You know, we can climb. It's fine. You want to do that? And we'd only have an hour with it, but it's better than nothing
We only have 1 hour.
with that spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. I think.
Okay. All right. Oh well. Question, DM,
Yeah.
for the we still have in our inventory the thing that can change our appearance for an hour. Would that be using an ability? Because it's a object. Would that just be for the
like
duration
it
of the
allows
court
you to
case?
cast disguise self.
Yes.
Okay.
Would that be only for the? Could we use it only once for the court case, or is that something that could re-up?
Does it
Because
say once per day?
Yes. Because like our other abilities,
It's like
we
one
would-
long rest worth of stuff. And I believe what we talked about is like very seldom do people involved in a court case, especially the attorneys, get anywhere near a proper night's sleep when it comes to that, because they are up. They are maybe get an hour or two if they sleep at all when it's back to back to back to back, because they're doing so much research. And that's kind of like why I'm saying like you get one long rest, because you won't be able to, because all of this extra work you're doing you won't be able to
Yeah.
sleep. So I would
But
say
it's an object, so it does get.
I would say I would allow you to expend a resource to try to recharge it. I would say if you wanted to expend 2 schemes, you could recharge it. Does that make sense?
Okay. Maybe we try just going in here. Why don't you take this just in case? You can use it if you need to, if like you get in a pinch or something.
But obviously not in the same instance. It would have to be like,
yeah,
like I would say like after a recess or something.
it'd be a different day.
Yeah.
In time.
Yeah.
So why don't you take it just in case you need to use it, and we can, I know I'm not getting a lot of rest lately, but maybe it should still work. I'm thinking at least. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can turn into whatever you need to, if you need to. But
A mouse.
It can only it is an illusion that alters your
spider?
appearance. No, an
I'm
illusion
kidding.
that alters your appearance
Well, then that'd
to
be
a maximum
obvious.
of 1 foot.
it's true.
So you can appear 1 foot shorter or 1 foot taller, but you still mostly kind of humanoid in perception. That also means if you're like 1 foot shorter in the illusion, if somebody like swipes above your head, they're gonna hit you because you're still there. It's just an illusion. But you can't have the illusion of becoming a mouse. That's more of a.
She could be mousy if like.
No, yeah.
You could be
Maybe
like,
an oversized Stuart Little.
Ooh.
Wow.
you could be a gnome.
A
A mousy gnome or something like that.
gnome is great.
Yeah.
Doesn't
It's
have to
kind
be
of like with
mousy.
like a Cindy Lou Who
Yeah.
Knows type of thing going on,
Or dwarf.
or dwarf.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Take it with you just in case.
Okay.
Let's get. I'll cast it now. That way we can.
What
kinda
item
sneak
is
in.
this again?
It's the thing that it was like a hair thing that allowed you to cast disguise self that the Watcher.
Like a
Games.
hairpin? I think.
Yeah. That the Watcher gave us, I believe.
What is it called? Does it have it in your?
I don't remember what it's called.
Is it
I
in
can't-
your inventory?
It's not in my inventory. It's
Whose
in
inventory is
somebody-
it?
I think it's a Scoops. I'm gonna double check.
Okay.
But it is a thing. I'm not
Okay.
crazy. Hold on.
It's all right. So someone's doing Overwatch and the other person's doing infiltration.
Yeah, I'm doing
Yeah.
Overwatch. And then Nakano's doing infiltration.
Cool. Why don't you just do me a favor real quick? As you kind of are prepping and doing this thing, you guys, why don't you both of you roll perception checks? Technically, Macheni, you could instead roll a survival check if you want.
Okay.
I would say if you want to roll a survival check as far as getting more information of insight into how to approach the situation rather than actually being fully staking out and watching, that's the choice you'll have to make.
Okay. Like more of this door might be a better.
Tracking,
Yeah.
that type of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Casing the joint.
All right, I'll do that. 13 for survival.
Okay. What did Nakano, what'd you get for perception?
18.
Oh,
18.
Oh, I'm sorry. Guidance, Nakano.
She guidanced you.
Add a D4.
Woo! Hold on. $19.
Yeah.
19. Every little bit counts.
It does.
Yeah.
So 13, I think you weren't really there too much. You were only watching through the window when the first encounter with the Vodomo happened. But what you were able to witness and what you did hear from your cohorts is that the Vodomo seems to be somewhat skilled at being at whether disguises or being covert and stealthy as well. So as far as staking this place out, looking for someone that looks like the Vodomo or someone that could be the Vodomo leaving to wait for it to be vacant, that's going to be really hard because who knows if that person is the Vodomo or not. Also, if this person is as good as they were before and they fooled you initially and it took a lot to figure out that this person was the Vodomo, it would, with a 13,
I found doors.
I think you found some doors and you see a building.
Okay.
And that also, like, I think just a bit of your survival kind of self-preservation kicks in about, like, if I wanted to get out of a place, would I only have one exit?
No, of course not. I'd want to have multiple. So then that's, yeah.
So
Let's look
it's
around.
definitely be, as far as like staking this person out, unless you really know their schedule and what their plan is, it's going to be very, very difficult. If you're waiting for this thing to be empty. Otherwise, you just have to take the chance. As far as 19 is concerned with your perception, you know that this is on the 3rd floor of this building in the upper echelon district, Nakano. You don't have thieves, so you don't have second story work, but you also have spider climb, so that's not going to be an issue for you. There is a window that does go into the room in question. I believe during your staking out, you were able to take kind of like a cursory kind of look through the window when nobody's looking, by perhaps being on a catty corner rooftop or something like that to get a better idea. Doesn't look like anything special. The amenities still look somewhat, I wouldn't say opulent, but high class. Your instincts, as far as perception, tell you is that this window does look, whereas the others have a wood frame, this has a metal frame. And there's only one window. There's a bed, there's a dresser. I think with a 19, the other thing that comes to mind is there's something off about this room. Like it looks smaller than it should be compared to the other rooms. There's just a bit. There's something just off. Like one of the walls just looks a little closer than it should be to the window than it should be.
Like a false wall or something.
Perhaps. The only way to find that out would be to be with like investigative.
Sledgehammer.
Yeah, some exploratory surgery, perhaps.
Well, good thing I just got my medical degree again.
But yes, you do notice that I think your gut is telling you that this window is probably reinforced for obvious reasons. Given this person also seems to be adept in the magical sense, it could also be trapped or locked in the magical sense as well. This is not going to be an easy feat. I think with a 19 also is you definitely have a blind spot with that window. It's probably part of the room that you are not able to see. And you haven't, as of yet, seen anybody within the confines of said room.
Okay.
With the exception of a service member leaving a tray of food.
What if I like disguise myself as a service member then?
Yeah, I think you could, right? I mean, I think that makes sense.
Just to get
No-
a little look. Because I don't
Nobody-
really know if there's somebody in there.
Yeah, no, I mean, nobody pays attention to the wait staff,
Yeah.
and especially like
Yeah.
somebody like that.
Yeah, I
Sure.
think that'll work.
Okay.
You got a 19, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you paying attention to what the service member looks like because you're trying to like mimic
Yeah.
their look? Okay. You notice that they look familiar, like very familiar. Their eyes remain closed. They appear to be lanky. They're like tall and kind of like almost like a board, and they like have their chin up and then like the kind of look to them. These person looks very familiar. You can't quite pin it, and then you're like, oh. You've definitely met this person before, and they're kind of creepy. This looks similar to like Bikem's butlers, or butler that just happens to be in many places at once. But they are like, this individual is not wearing like a tux with a tail like they usually are. They're just wearing a little bit more drab individual like garments. To not drab, I would say just more fitting to this scenario rather than like a tux, like a tunic and fine finery. Which I think to you is probably like, why is Bichem staff here?
I mean, you're right, that person does kind of look like them. I don't know. Do you think they're cousins? I mean,
I don't know.
we could ask Bichem. Like, hey,
We
why?
could.
Like, what's up with your butler?
You could.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll hold off on casting the magic and we can talk to Bichem first, just really quick, and then go.
Yeah.
Then
let's-
come back and okay.
Do you want to go to Bichem then?
Just to ask her, like,
Sure.
what's up with your butler and why are we seeing them in so many places?
Sure.
But nicer than that.
Yeah, you're going like to Fidei, to East Harlem, and then to the West Side, and then Central Park, and then over to Red Hook, and then like you're going all over the fucking city.
But this could be done in a day. It's just a long day.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot.
Yeah.
So what I will say is that are you, given your surreptitious state, are you trying to be stealthy about your movements throughout the city?
I mean, I think I would. I'm assuming you probably would want to too, Nakano. Just not using the spell, but at least being both of
Right.
us just being like
extra
blend
cautious
in.
here. Yeah, blending in, not because we're doing something obviously. Why
Yeah.
are we gonna go over it?
And talking to
talk.
Bicum is totally fine for us to do. Like, that's normal for us to do. She's kind of funding everything, so like,
She's our friend.
yeah.
I think that's fine. Not creepy.
Nope.
Not creepy at all. Great, yeah. So I mean, this is going to be a protracted thing, but yeah, you can go see Bichem. She's actually not too far because she also has somewhat nice digs in the area because she's, fashionable, and so you are able to find. So are you trying to be stealthy? Was the question.
Yes. but
Okay, so both of you please roll a stealth check as you're moving through the city.
We're walking. We're not running. We're still just 17.
29.
Ooh,
This is why Nakano's going on the inside and I'm providing
Dang.
Overwatch.
You don't exist.
For a second, I'm like, Nakano?
yeah, no, Decano just straight up disappears, and you have no idea where she went.
Good thing I know how to read the compass and get to Bicums. See you there.
So you are able to. You feel like you've made it somewhat. Do the whole like, oh well, nobody will know it's me if I put a piece of cloth over my face and move forward. You are able to make it to Bicham's. You knock on the door, and the individual that you had just seen previously, or at least a lookalike like the individual, now still wearing a tux, goes, at the door.
Could we go see our friend Bicam?
Who is it? Who is it? Say what is. It's your compatriots, Mum. Oh, do let them in. Please let them in, please. Come on. I was just about to have some afternoon tea.
Oh, fabulous. We
Always
love
having
tea
tea.
time. And
Like,
Shani's-
so just like how the door swung open, they swing open, and they allow you through, and you make your way through. Apparently, like this hotel room has been fitted with many steamer trunks and a bunch of other stuff that has been unpacked to create garlands of actual living, like wisteria and monstera and other things like this, so that she could have an archway of like green and be right at home. She brought a rug with her so she could have her own decor. She brought her whole tea set. You see that like one of the beds that was here has been like shoved up and pushed into the corner and like partially disassembled, so it's out of the way. And she brought her other kind of like King's Courtly canopied bed with her. Goodness knows how she got all this stuff in here. And you see there's a bay window that it looks like was built after she got here. Specifically into the room so she could have tea by a bay window looking out at the bay. And she's like, please come in, sit down. It's so good to see you. If I remember correctly, aren't you supposed to be in attendance on the presiding of court? Ooh, you're playing hooky. Where's my money going if you're not being responsible?
Oh, no. We're being very responsible, actually, madam. Scoop and Tammy are still in court at the moment. We're just
Oh,
taking-
pish posh,
we-
leave it to the boys then.
for a little bit anyway. So, but
Never trust a boy to do a woman's work.
exactly. So that's why we're here, asking you just a couple of questions.
Yes,
and
well,
if
the
we-
tea I am enjoying is a turmeric orange. I knew you were
lovely.
probably going to ask about it, so I thought I'd nip it in the bud. Yes.
Yes.
Is that all?
I mean, that was definitely one of the questions, but I think, so I have a question. How did you meet your butler?
Spit it out.
I'm sorry. How did you meet your butler?
Oh, Oh, you mean my lifelong service companion, of which I
Yes.
treat very well, don't I? Yes, Mum. Yes. Yes, I do. Oh, yes. Well, funny story. I don't actually remember. But one day, I had needed the said services, and I had just been like, oh, yes, I feel like they've always been there. But if I remember correctly, well,
Well, and I mean, you. I mean, how did you meet her if you don't remember? Bicam.
indubitably, Mum.
I mean, we need to have some good help back at our estate. You know, the bread and breakfast. So, do you have any family or anything that we could maybe contact or to?
Perhaps, Mum, but I am indebted to the services of Bye-Bye.
Of course, I was just asking if you had any family or anything that. Your manners are
Everyone
just great.
has a family, of course.
He does have eyes.
Well, yes, there are some people that are orphans, though, so I didn't want to presume, you know. Or if you knew anybody that might be as skilled as you, too. That's all. Again, trying to find good help is so hard sometimes, but your services have always been impeccable with Madam Bicam.
Yes, well, we try.
What's her name, by the way? We never asked. I'm so sorry. My manners are terrible.
My name is whatever you'd like it to be, Mum.
All right, whatever you like it to be, Mom. That's
Rather good jest, Mum.
Yeah.
Rather good jest.
Sir, then. Good sir. Say. No kind of help. I don't know. I don't do people. You just kind of whisper over to you.
This is pointless.
The tea's good.
Yes, the tea is very good. Yes, yes. They are excellent at making tea. Yes.
How do
How
you
long-
make this tea?
Yeah.
How do you make this tea? I steep it, Mum. He steeps it.
How long have you been making tea for Miss Bicam, good sir?
Many years, Mum.
Why do you say mum?
It is my prerogative, Mum. Why do you have so many legs, Mum?
Don't you hide those usually when you're around Bicam?
I'm very, very sneaky, Mum.
I can see. So am I.
Yes, indubitably, Mum.
Do you want a cup of tea too?
I already had mine, Mum.
Oh, okay. I guess it's like the taste testing. This is why you're so good at your duties, because you always make sure that the tea is just right for Miss Bicam.
So, everything good?
Yes, I think.
Do you want to fuck my butler? What's happening?
Does that happen often? Do you offer butlers?
I mean, honestly, never really occurred to me. But I mean, I've seen eyes before. I have eyes. I go in circle situations, circles of people that have promiscuous natures, of course. And I do have to say, Good luck. They are quite picky. I have never seen or heard of such engagements. But why are you so interested in him, them, it, all?
Like I said, we wanted to find some good help, and I, just I feel like I've seen them before somewhere else too. And I thought maybe again, if you have family, then maybe they also were in the service, but industry, but.
You want to hire them?
Not
You can't
necessarily
have them the
no.
mine.
Not necessarily. I know, they're yours. I was wondering if they had like a brother.
I mean, I don't
or a
owe
cousin.
them, but I'm their employer. Yes.
Yes. Wondering if they had a brother or cousin or something. Again, so that we
Do
can-
you have brothers? Perhaps, Mum, I do not know. Probably, maybe. Do you have cousins? Blood related or not? Blood related or not?
Sure. Yes.
Is there a point to this?
Again, yes, we do want some help, but also like we've seen other people like him around, and just
Oh! Oh! You really buried the lead. Oh, my goodness. Oh, goodness. I had quite the chuckle of internal diaphragm doing that one. Yes. Yes, no. Listen. Yes, their job. They've been keeping an eye on people. They're very sneaky. Yes.
oh, okay, got you.
Honestly,
Alright.
don't know how many of them there are. Sometimes feels like there may be several. Don't really care. Haven't really had a reason to care too much. They do what I ask them to do, and I treat them well. They treat me well, and it works out.
Gotcha.
They protect me. You're so cute. Yes, they are.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Mum.
Thank you.
Thank
And the
you.
Stormark tea is really great. But thank you for answering that. I'm trying to do better at like court politics and like just barely, going like this and trying
No
to but it's
worries.
not-
I mean, when you have a butler for over 700 years, then you'll learn the same thing. It's just kind of always there.
Just she is human.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I mean, that is a long time for somebody to.
Yes, well, I mean, it's been the same for my entire generations of family as far as back as I can. Well, I was educated too anyway.
Yeah.
Quite the loyalty on this one.
What is the butler's race?
Looks to be human, but you're not there. Do you
No,
guys
I know,
want
but
to?
I've seen the butler before. I was just
Yeah.
Yeah,
curious.
they look human. They seem to be human, as far as you can tell. You guys want to roll insight or perception or something like that?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm too flustered by the tea. It's 6 for either.
16.
16 for what? Insight or perception?
Insight.
There's being a sneaky person who's good at disguises. If this person is disguised as something, it's really good. But there's definitely something like your gut is telling you. There's just something off. Like, you're not sure if it's an illusion, if it's spell work or something, but the way they appear and disappear, although you're really, really good at it as well, the method as to which they do so seems to be, dare I say, mechanical, far more mechanical. If you wanted to further examine this, you'd have to, like, engage in physical touch.
Yeah. Let's
What do you do?
just like touch back.
You reach out to touch
Reach
the
out.
butler?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
But,
fully,
like-
candidly.
But like not accidentally, you know.
Oh, you want to
play
bump
it
into
off.
them.
Like you stretched
Yeah.
your limbs and
Like
then
I
you're like, "Ah."
stretch and like I play it off like, oh, sorry about
Okay, cool. Why don't you go ahead and roll a, I would say either deception or a stealth check for that one.
Sure.
Definitely do stuff.
Or
I
no,
know.
that's sleight of hand. That's 100%
No,
sleight
sleight.
of hand.
Yeah.
Sleight of hand.
11.
11. You reach out and they just instinctively kind of move out of the way to be like, just kind of give you room. As you kind of expanded your personal space and they accommodated.
Can you try to touch?
Um.
I'm just going to walk up to a random person and be like, hey, can you try to touch? Can you try to touch?
Touch the
So,
Can you
yeah.
touch?
point.
Please?
I'm nodding my head toward.
Oh, okay. I think I'm done with my tea here. Can I give you? And I just like accidentally. I'm sorry. I spill the rest of it.
Okay, sleight of hand check for you too.
Yeah. Come on. That's better. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So you make it look convincing as you're like, oh, what a blasted waste of tea, as you spill the tea and it kind of splatters. It does go on to the butler. They move very, very fast to try to get out of the way, but some does splash onto the butler. But there's a split second moment where it doesn't look like the sleeves or the clothes of the individual are wet. And it appears to drip not from where it would like run down from the hand and then drip from the fingers or whatever, but like drip through, like go not like straight through and then through like the bottom of the wrist.
So it seems to be an illusion almost, like if I were to make that jump.
It's really hard to tell. I would say you can roll with that in mind. You can roll an intelligence check, except, yeah, I believe that's how it works.
6.
Maybe they're
That's
just,
weird.
Yeah. Maybe they're just like, skin and bones. I don't know. Maybe they just need more food.
It needs more fruit in their diet.
More food.
Oh,
More food.
I'm so sorry.
This is not a problem, Mom. I shall clean it up.
Thank you, good sir.
And you see them just kind of fade and come back with the mop.
As long as we're here, I mean, are you still? Do you have these still good ties with the Protectorate, ma'am,
Oh,
Madam Banker?
right. Didn't I say I knew someone from the Protectorate?
Yeah, I mean, then weren't you from there originally? Or?
Yes, well, I was. Yes, the whole family was at one point. And I spent some time there and then was here. Well, technically, kind of both. Technically, because human, as, it's really different. I married in.
Gotcha. All right.
But I still have very strong ties to my heritage, of course. Yes, if you're referring to some of the government there, I did know the previous Lord of Streiter.
Oh, really?
Yes, rather strange fellow. Kept to themselves mostly, had adorable children.
Aw.
Yes, it's a shame what happened to his wife. Yes.
Would it be so odd for? I mean, I don't know what your relationship is with him or was, but would it be
Oh,
so
he's
odd?
dead.
No, I knew that. I knew that. But like,
Oh, no, he's fucking dead. Like, really dead.
yeah.
No, it was
Yeah.
bad.
What happened?
Super
Spill,
bad.
spill the tea. Like I
Oh,
did, but
well,
not like,
you did already.
I know.
Oh, you hear that? What a good jest. Oh, write that down. Yes, write it. Yes, in my book. The black one. Thank you. Yes, I'm sorry, what?
Just how did he pass away? Like,
Right. Oh, dreadful business. Some was not of right mind, some sort of infection of the bug brains or something.
Oh, no.
Yes, not so great. And then there was some inner court betrayal, and then, well, it led to his death, and then his son's death, and all that was left to inherit the lords, was Lady Rhea, of course, and surprisingly competent, although also not surprisingly competent, but ambitious. Monarchaic governing has been, interesting to view at the very least.
Interesting. It's quite the story. Do you think, like, does she remember you as like an auntie or something? Like, would it be weird for you to invite her over for some tea?
Darling, who doesn't remember this face?
I know. I mean, you are bye-bye. Like, who can say goodbye to bye-bye?
You can't
know?
say it. There,
No?
She said it. She said it. Mark it down. That's another tally. Say it. Mark it down.
I feel like I stepped into a trap on that one, but it's okay. It's a good trap.
Oh, life's a trap, dear. Just about building a better one.
That's fair. Would it be so weird, though, for her to come over for some tea? I know it's very far away, but maybe there's some means for her to swing by.
You want the Lord, Des?
The lady?
Her-
Yes, yeah.
Her Grace, the Lady Rhea of the Greater Protectorate of Strita, to come here. I mean, I can try.
Can I, so, out of game, can I insight how well, like, Bicam is actually,
How honest she's being?
yeah, and
Sure,
level,
go roll an
and,
insight
like,
check.
just, like, if I spill the beans on what want to do with Lady Rhea, if that's going to backfire, or, like...
Well, you were told by Alario Orleno that bringing in another sovereign nation into this, you'd be very careful because because the margin of error is infinitesimal as far as like crossing the line into the disrespect of sovereign territory, and then treason and other types of things as far as trying to bring another nation into an issue that is absolutely arbitrated within this sovereignty, to try to supersede their own rule of law.
This would be for the second court case, not the first.
Correct.
Yeah.
Even so, all of this happened within. This is a still Northern Dynasty court.
Yeah.
You absolutely could. You can roll an insight check to see how she's dealing with this. You just have to be very, very careful, because if at any point the court, the jury, or themselves ever felt like another country was trying to impose their own laws through arbitration of like diplomatic immunity or extradition or something like that, it could get messy.
Okay.
It could get messy.
11.
11. I mean, Bikem's always pretty, dare I say, extra. So she doesn't seem to be acting any differently than she does normally as when you're talking about this. So hard to tell, I suppose.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if it was going to be like, something where you could bring anybody back from like your country, some old friends and stuff. That's all.
Oh, well, for what purpose, my dear?
I think just chatting and understanding, like, some perspectives. That's all. That's all.
You just prefer correspondence?
It could work too.
I can send messages. I can I can ask around. Is there particular information you were looking for?
I mean, not quite yet. I just wanted to know, like, if it was possible. That's all. Like, 'cause,
She puts her hand on your hand. My dear, beautiful, sleek, wonderful dear. Get to the fucking point. Because I really would like to enjoy my tea, and I know you have more important things to do than enjoy it with me. Although there's an argument to be made. But what is it you want? You didn't come out here to have tea with me. I'm not that self-absorbed. I've been learning. The fads are powerful, my dear.
I know. The learning's great.
Hmm.
We saw somebody that looked like them.
Well, yes, I
Of
told
course,
them to keep
yeah.
an eye on the Verdomo.
Oh, okay. Well, that explains a lot.
Yes, no, they saw you there. They told me before you got here.
Oh, okay. Well, guess we're not as sneaky as we thought we were. All right, great. Or at least I'm not.
You see what happens when you're direct?
Yeah, but like,
For example,
all this court case stuff.
Let's
it's
role
like-
play. That hair, maybe not working for you. Try something different, maybe. This,
Yeah.
trying to put off your beautiful limbs as a backpack. Darling, flaunt it if you have it. No need to hide. You're wonderful.
The other thing was, the other reason why I was asking about Lady Rhea is more so there's a chance for not this court case, but the next one of helping to establish an international recognition of law of certain things. And part of it is to save Tammy, part of it is to save us, and a large part of it is actually to save all the people that are the Tananawi.
That
So-
is some juicy fucking tea.
But it's an interesting. It's just understanding. Again, setting that international precedence. That's all. So
Yes, well,
understanding.
if you would like, if you have some sort of formal thing that I could send to her as far as if she would like to petition or support some type of movement, I'd be happy to pass it along via some of my connections. Should I be concerned at all?
I think, frankly, it'd be a little. Our lawyers.
My dear.
What?
I know her. I'm on first name terms with her. It'll be fine.
All
Whatever
right,
it is
that's
you want me to send to her, I can make it happen. No big deal.
All right.
Pish
okay.
posh done.
All right.
Easy.
We'll talk to, Tammy and Scoop and our lawyer and make sure everything's kosher.
Why
before
were you
com-
at the Verdomos?
So, Nakano, do you want to answer this one? I need to get more tea.
Well, I had a previous conversation with the Domo, and I was intrigued and wanted to
Ooh.
continue my conversation.
Oh, a conversation. Fraternizing with the enemy, I see.
I mean, Vidomo was flirting.
They
Oh,
were. She had
were
she had
they?
quite the outfit on. It was kind of awesome. But
I heard. Love it. Save it. Keep it clean. Save it. Put it in the. Keep it. Loved it. Lived for it. Yes, well, if you're looking for some more, perhaps, conjugal attributions, then I'd be happy to give you a birth of perception. However, I've been keeping an eye on the Vadoma myself for obvious reasons. I don't believe they know that they are who they are, that my butler is who they are. But even if they did, it wouldn't matter. Would not matter at all. They do seem to be rather well informed. But there is something that my butler is very good at, and it is disguises. From personal experience, I can tell you they are very talented. But I have been keeping an eye to make sure that, as you have tasked me with doing, keep tabs on the upper echelons of society.
we do fear that there is something foul afoot.
However,
You know.
speaking of things foul afoot, I see sneaky scheming when I hear it, and it seems that you might be up to something. And I'm all for it. Go. Kill, slay. But I can't be directly involved, or my butler, for obvious reasons. So the backlash to it, then I get removed from my current position, and then I cannot help you from the inside anymore, my dear, my sweet, gorgeous fairy dear.
Of course. course. We'll keep you out of it, and you,
Don't worry. You
and
won't
good
be
sir.
involved.
yeah,
But I can get you inside.
that would help. I think
Yeah.
with, you know, the plans.
Sure. Do you want to look like him?
I mean, that's your.
I mean,
it's
do you
your-
have
your
magic
body.
that makes you look like him?
We have an object that we can use. But,
Great. My dear. Yes. Yes. Put the black book away. No, the other one. Yes, come on. No. No, not one. Okay. We're drinking more tea, apparently. All right. So, when you see them coming and they're about to do nefarious deeds, and then please let them do their thing, but you can guide them, yes? Is that agreeable? Yes, Mum. Wonderful. Is that what you wanted here?
that would be.
Why
most
did that
helpful.
take so long?
It's again. I'm not used to like this court stuff. I just became a lady. Like I don't know. Like it's you know I'm trying, but it's
My lovely Marisian goddess, say what you mean and you will get what you want.
all right. I'm trying to be a little bit more.
You are goddess. Let no one tell you different. You too. It's not every day you get to see someone with 8 limbs.
Well, here to that. Cheers and.
Yes. I wonder. You've got me thinking now. 8 limbs.
All right.
You're still here.
We're going.
Okay.
We're going.
Bye.
All right. See ya. Lovely as always. And be
Do you
more
need
direct.
money?
I think we're okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you again for the accommodations and everything. And
Of
the court
course.
case and stuff.
Anything
Great
you
tea.
need, just let me know.
All right.
You leave and you stealthily make your way back to the other area. About like 7/8 of the way there, Nakano. Actually, yeah. Let me. That's a nat 20. Nakano, you don't notice this, and you just hear no more than 3 inches from behind you. Are you ready, Mum? As you twirl around and you see the butler in the garb that you had seen them before at this thing, just standing there. They were not there 2 seconds ago. They fully were not there 2 seconds ago.
Oh my god. So are they like? Are they helping us now?
Yeah, they will help you. I will say you guys can roll one more insight check on this as they appear.
Guidance on Nakano.
You got it. So another D4 to you, Nakano.
Yeah.
9.
$19.
19 plus the D4.
Yeah. All
Awesome.
together.
What did you get? You got a 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just creepy as fuck, man.
Yeah. No, he's very. They're
Yeah.
very creepy.
You get a 19. There, you see something like shift. Like you ever see, how sometimes a big screen has multiple screens that amalgamate together to create like a big screen, but if they like move or if they have a curve with them, you can sometimes see the seams between screens. You see there's like a split second of movement where there looks like there's a grid pattern along a portion of their, like almost like a hex grid pattern along the portion of their form that quickly then seams back together.
AI.
Yeah.
Just the mouth's over here for a second. Like.
Definitely not human.
Nakano, if you see that and you have that moment, you can roll a history check if you like.
Sure. I'm gonna. 19 again.
19.
This is the 19s all the way around.
You were
for
dragged.
this.
You're a far traveler. You've traveled a lot of places. You were dragged across like more than half the continent. There are mechanical creatures that you have met or heard of that kind of fit into if you're thinking mechanical here. You also know that said mechanical creatures, known as the Zektech, don't have a upper limit to how long they live. They're machines. The time barely affects them. They were created for the war between the elves and the dwarves and the gnomes of a long time ago. The vibe you're getting is definitely something of like Magitech, some type of magical technology, as far as like some sort of like illusory plates or like hologram type of things, as far as like these hex things where there are a bunch of different screens that project light to make it look like this person is a type of thing, a type of way. And it is, I think you get like the first hunch that this person is probably less biological and more mechanical, and not human at all.
All right.
Does he look like Tupac?
I'm wondering if like this
Maybe they could.
thing, like who's controlling this?
Speaking of which, if for like the Zektech that you like, they are they're people. They are their own people. They have their own will.
Okay.
They were commissioned and created. You don't know the specifics of how they were created because a lot of that is kind of kept pretty secret. Some do, but I don't think you at the moment probably do. I don't think there's no reason for you to really know a whole lot of depth to that lore. But you do know that like they are their own people. There's not a whole lot of them. And they often stick to like the Razorfang mountain range type of area because that's where they were originally they were soldiers pretty much in a war against to defend them from the tide of the elves that were moving across the continent, and they're one of the main reasons why they were able to hold it in a stalemate for so long, and then like basically by default winning the war because the elves just dispersed. They do have their own will. They have their own consciousness. Like as far as soul is concerned, it's a little bit more complicated. But they are their own people. As far as like someone who would be controlling said, they're not like a robot that somebody has like the RC controller of. I mean, it's possible that could be a thing. I mean, you don't know a whole lot about how this technology works.
Right.
But as far as you understand that they are their own people, they have their own consciousness, they have their own will. They were under military service at a time, so they did obey the orders of their commanding officers. But it's been a long time since then.
I was kidding, but it sounds like it's kind of like AI.
Yeah,
Um,
kind of.
Yeah, I mean, Tammy's not here, and Tammy is a historian, an anthropologist, an archaeologist. So if there's a possibility that Tammy would know more, but not at this juncture during this scene would he be able to do something like that. You'd have to bring this information back to them and then that type of thing. But that you just know that cursory information as far as your instincts are telling you that this person is constructed. You have never. Granted, you've seen like 2 Zektech in your life, and that's like they were working. They're not soldiers anymore because the war is over and has been for many years. But so they just kind of get retrofitted and do whatever it is they do. You've seen one be like a caravan mercenary guard and stuff like that. You've seen one just be traveling and kind of kept under wraps as to not warrant too much suspicion and get too many eyes on them, and just kind of be in drab, but nothing like you've never seen one like in action. You've also never seen some one of them. You never imagined one to be able to do this type of like this ability of being able to like project a hologram or like have a bunch of screens around them. Like that is very advanced. It's very advanced, and it is I think as far as the ones that you've seen has probably been more like standard models or something like that. As far as your insight is concerned, who knows? You know, maybe they're upgraded or not. You don't know. But as far as you know, the only like mechanical beings that you're aware of that have their own will and that would be even somewhat capable of something like this would be Zektek. And seeing as you did say that it lived for 700 years, that also makes sense.
Oh, that you're there now. Okay. You ready, Nakano?
Yeah.
All right.
Was definitely interesting.
Shall we assume disguises then, Mum?
Yeah, you two. I'll just, pull my cloak down a little bit and hang out over here on the corner, or maybe I'll climb up a little bit, but yeah.
Very well, very well. And you see like there's a shimmer that goes over their body as kind of like a ripple kind of goes over the body as you see kind of some of the seams of the hex plates. Kind of like Mystique style almost, but like with hex plates. As their garb changes and they look a little bit more far removed. It's like a similar, like still similar thing, but they look like a relative of what they used to look like a moment ago. And then you are able to assume what they looked like as you saw them in the thing, as you saw them through the window. Like, I will accompany you, Mum. And we were able to get inside. The last time I left food there, it was gone. There was nobody there, and it was gone when I came to pick it up. But from my perception, no one had entered. So they evaded my gaze.
All right. Okay. Well, good luck. And we'll see you. I'll keep an eye
All right.
out. And I'm casting Pass Without Trace. And so added +10 to any stealth stuff that you do.
Is that like maintain? You have to stay within 30 feet of them, don't
It's
you?
within 30 feet. So, like, whenever she comes back into that 30-foot radius, I'm going to, again, I'll be on the outside of the building, kind of like.
Okay, I'll say
So-
that like while she's in to make it easy, I'll say you can be in a place where you can see where the window is. So while she's in the room, she'll just with your radius. But as soon as she leaves the room, she's no longer in your sphere of influence type
Okay.
of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because that's how the spell works, right? You have to
Yeah,
maintain.
it's a radius. Like, she come back in and out because I.
So while she's in the room, she gets that +10 bonus. While she's moving throughout the rest of the building, she won't, because it's third floor up and over a little bit. Cool.
Yep.
Great.
And I mean, I could like climb up if I needed to too, but.
Cool. So fast track this a little bit. You move through you together easily make your way through. I'll say both of you guys roll stealth checks at advantage. I'll do mine.
Add a +10 to.
Not at this moment because you're parting from her at this moment.
I
You
get a
do, yes.
Yeah. And I'll cast it on. I'll include the butler too. On
Yes,
this.
sure. So Nakano, what did you get?
25.
25. Great.
26.
26. Cool. So,
Aw.
Masheni, you just look like someone who's, just moving about, either like selling something or looking to sell or looking to buy something or, perhaps
Anybody
even
want a
passing.
flower?
Sure.
Flower?
Wonderful.
You know.
Nakano, you get not even a second glance as you move through and you pick up a tray. As the other person picks up the tray, you make it up third floor. You make it to the door. They knock on the door and then they fade away. There's no answer to the door.
Go in. I'm going in.
You don't have a key to the room. Neither did they. They appeared to have picked the lock as well. Do you want to try to pick the lock?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going straight for the lock pick. You got it.
Pick.
So you have to roll a
I know.
lock picking check. Yeah.
A lock picking.
Yeah, sure. So if
Sleight of hand, right?
no, it's your lock picking tool set.
Oh,
Um,
I got it.
I believe we talked about this last time too. I believe
Yes,
you had to
I
put
got
one
it.
of your points of expertise into your
Yep.
lock picking set.
Yeah. Go Nakano.
So it has like your double proficiency, your dexterity plus your double proficiency on it.
Damn, that's gonna be gnarly.
48. Well, the sad thing is I didn't roll that high.
Pretty
so-
much
but
equal to how a stealth check would work
Yeah.
for her.
So- Okay, 21.
Okay.
21's pretty
without-
good.
Yeah.
What I'll say with the 21, the DC was 20. With the 21, there's a moment before you, like a split second moment before you turn the knob and like you turn it to like make it finally unlock, that you realize there's something more to this. That's not just mechanical. At the very last second before you turn this, you see very, very hidden and very, very slight along the frame of the door, there appear to be runic symbols, meaning that this appears to have some sort of magic or trap or some other type of thing to it. And you have like a split second to either abandon your lock or go through with it.
No. This is dangerous. Oh. Because I don't want to get. I notice it, right? I notice.
Yeah, you
kind of
notice it.
magic.
You notice it. You have a split second to decide.
No.
Okay, so you abort.
I abort.
So now, as you're seeing this, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
26.
You kind of kick in yourself too. You're just like, why didn't I check for traps? God damn it, I'm good at this.
Always check for traps.
26. There's absolutely some sort of magical trap. It appears to be twofold too, as far as you can understand. One that is like some type of alarm where if somebody would ever to break through this without being the person that casted the spell, that the other person immediately knows that somebody has entered their room, no matter where they are. Immediately. And then there's another one where there's some sort of charm effect attached to this as well. You're not quite sure what. You can roll an Arcana check if you like.
16.
16. Something to do with memory, but that's about it.
Okay. Then I
yep.
go back to Misheni, share what we found. Be just like about we can. Yeah.
I can barely hear you, honey. Can you?
Go back. I'm gonna go see Misheni and tell her that there's a trap. It's not.
Okay.
I mean,
so that's not cool.
Saving you some time. You can disarm traps. That's your thing.
But
That's,
the magic part,
Oh.
though.
Yeah, the magic part.
magic?
So yeah, so you can disarm traps. There's like a sleight of hand thing involved in disarming traps. As far as magic's concerned, there's also an Arcana check involved as well.
Well,
You sure I can do that?
Yeah, you can. It's
Yeah.
pretty much you knowing like what runes to cross out where to make the enchantment inert.
Got it.
And doing it so carefully where you do it at the exact right spot
Well, this
without like
is-
triggering it.
I'm. All right. I'm gonna take a chance.
All right, take a chance. If I'm still concentrating on the spell, but
Yeah.
if you like give a little like
How much
whoo-hoo,
time
like
do we
bird
have?
sound. Oh, that's about the. I mean, you were so fast.
Okay,
Probably
okay.
like another 45 minutes. I'm thinking,
Okay.
but if you give like a little bird hoo-hoo kind of thing, I can try to help if the trap stuff doesn't go well.
All right. I'll give it a best shot.
Okay, good luck. Flowers for sale.
Okay.
Okay, so why don't you do a sleight of hand first and then an arcana?
Flight 19.
Okay, so DC for that was 18 to be able to
Oh
get
my
to the
God.
point where you can like find the right spot and like that's the steadiness of your hand. Now it's the arcana is knowing which rune to actually cross out properly.
Come on, Nakano.
16.
16. You are able to cross out the room that appears to, you feel confident in you being able to cross out the room that appears to give someone like a notification, like an alarm. So if you're entering this, you will be okay. You're not sure whether you got the memory thing out of it or not. But I don't think you know. I think you're just like you really don't know. That's your best guess.
Do you feel good? I did give her the thing. I didn't give her a thing. I just warned her. I was like, feel bad.
So
Bird guy.
now, if you want to unlock the door, you're going to have to roll another lockpicking check. Now that the trap has been
Got it.
supposedly disarmed.
27.
27 will do it. You
Yeah.
unlock the door. You step through. I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh my god.
Come on. so many dice rolls.
17.
17. 17's not going to do it. You forget where you are. You forget who you are. You forget. The only thing you remember is Honorea's in trouble and you got to go save Honorea. And you are so far from there and you have to go now. But you don't know why. Like there's something about like something reached into you and pulled out something that you hold on to really hard. Actually, I'm going to leave you a choice with you. What thought of someone being in dire need of who would make you leave this room the fastest?
Honorea.
So you have that, like you're reminded, like all those feelings that you've kind of been pushed away and time has passed, everything immediately bubble to the surface of like Honorea and like where is she, what is the thing, and you like this question of like what am I doing? Why am I here? Why haven't I put any effort into trying to find Honorea? Like I am so far away from her. Like I am such a bad friend. Like what have I done? Like, and you have this like massive weight of guilt that. You need to be anywhere but here. You have to go. There is you also remember like well actually as you feel that way and you start to kind of like take a step back and like analyze your situation, you hear Honorea's voice. Like you hear ascending from Honorea. And you just hear, where have you been? I've been waiting for you. Are you okay? I didn't know if you died or not. You're alive? Why did you leave? It's been hell without you. I almost fell. Did you forget?
So maybe it's my own self telling me that, like the guilt. But obviously Nakano doesn't know that.
I think it's like probably the state that you're in, whatever charm is affecting you right now. It's like, yeah, it's kind of up to you, but it probably would be really difficult to tell.
Yeah.
It sounds like an inner voice.
So it's like a spell on me, on Nakano.
Yeah, you appear to be, at the moment, like, a Nakano is charmed.
Charm.
Okay.
What do you do? Because, like,
I follow my instinct at that moment. Try and get answers on where Honoria is.
Honoria is more than a continent half away, and
Yeah.
most likely your instinct would say, I need to get on a ship and get the fuck back to the mainland.
I'm watching the whole time.
Yeah, you're watching. You see what looks like Nakano have kind of like a bit of a panic attack and then just run down the hallway.
Flowers for sale. Trying to get like close to the door so I can intercept her once she comes out the building.
Sure. Nakano, are you trying not to be stopped?
Right.
I'm asking you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm running. I'm reacting. I'm not
Okay.
thinking straight.
The butler individual does step in front of you and try to, like, you know, not necessarily clothesline you, but like gently, like, because seems to also notice something is amiss. Are you trying to dodge them entirely?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead. Well, they're going to roll on your AC then. That is a 15 to hit you, pretty much.
No, it doesn't.
So it doesn't. So you just kind of like nimbly dodge under and you move. You find your way out the doors. You rush. Macheni, you're there.
Try to. Hey! Hold on. What? Wait.
Go ahead. Roll to try to grab her.
I mean, what? Like an attack or?
Yeah, we'll just do that
athletic?
for now. Yeah, because the grappling is an attack, and we'll do the athletics and acrobatic stuff later.
Okay, so just what do I add to that? Basically,
Just for proficiency, because it's unarmed.
just proficiency.
Yeah,
Okay.
proficiency. I guess technically with like dexterity or
Yeah, dexterity would be what I would.
It's
use.
technically strength, but it's whatever. Just what is it, like +1 +2, so like 17, something like that, right?
Well, strength is 0, but my dexterity is +5, so that's why it makes a difference.
What's your AC, Nakano?
17.
Okay. You have a choice here then. Do you want to be stopped by Macheni or not? Like, do you want to give her like a second or not? What would Nakano do if this was what's going on in her mind?
Straight. Focused
Boom.
on boom.
Okay, so roll an acrobatics check to just kind of like, because she grabs you for a moment,
Okay.
but you could possibly like writhe out of it real fast.
16.
16. I'll say it's the okay. We're gonna have to simplify this. There is a moment between the two of you. What do you say? Like a fleeting moment.
Where are you going? What happened?
I must go to Honoria.
Okay, you're crazy. All right. Like, who's Honoria?
My friend.
What do you do?
I left her. I need to go.
Can we? All right. Hold on. Can you stay with me? Can you breathe? I want you to focus. I want you to count on like.
I need to go.
I know. We'll find a way, but I need you to. Can you follow my finger? All right. Okay, that's what I thought. You're a little okay. So, I try to bring her out of it with whatever I can. From
Sure.
like a
I mean, you gotta
medical-
fucking punch her.
All right. Follow the finger.
You have to actually snap her out of it.
All
Like
right,
you have to
follow-
actually fucking.
All
like
right. Follow the finger. Yep. And just-
okay, roll a hit.
Unarmed, so I guess just strength, right? Plus proficiency.
Mhm.
Nat 20. Thank God.
Oh.
Wow.
That was gonna be the only way, probably.
Yeah.
So
Real snapped out.
roll a
Yeah.
d4 plus your strength. Then that's how much damage she takes.
Fortunately, I rolled 2d4 because it was
Wait,
a
what?
Nat 20. That's right.
this for me.
Yeah. I disabled it. And still.
So it could have been worse. I did roll 2 4s, but at least I don't have a strength modifier.
it's 8
So
damage.
8 damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you take 8
Alright,
damage
I'll
as
take 8.
Machete fucking clocks you. Like she goes like, okay, watch here. Well, bang! Big, massive right hook, sucker punch as you go. You actually like spin once in the air before you fall into the mud. Go ahead and roll. I will say, go ahead and roll a wisdom saving throw at advantage for that one.
Okay. 13.
At advantage?
Yeah.
Oh. Can I?
It's not enough.
No, I know. Add a d4.
For a spell, are you doing a spell?
Yeah, I'm doing auspicious warning.
Well,
15.
Would that not even do anything?
she got a 17 on the
That's what I was trying
save
to remember.
beforehand, and it didn't save.
Okay, never mind.
So it
then.
wouldn't matter.
Never mind.
Yeah, it's not high enough. Do you like? Machete just punched you as hard as she fucking could, and she's keeping you from Honoria.
You gotta snap out of it. Snap out. Come on. Come on. I try to offer you a hand.
What do
up.
you do, Death Warden?
Well, did she snap me out of it? I mean,
No, you didn't save. No.
I'll slap her back.
All right.
Okay, cool. Are
like,
you trying to
just
like?
kind of push her off, you know? Like not slap
Cool.
her, but like get
Slap
her
my
off,
hand away,
you know?
kind of like.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which is
so
not-
she fucking clocked you as hard as she fucking could. Like, it seemed like she was trying to hurt you, and you flipped in the air and end up in the mud. And she attacked you, and now she's preventing you from getting to Honoria. And you're a Death Warden.
I'm going to.
Kill her.
I'm not gonna kill her, but I'm going to.
You're not happy with me. It's okay. It's all right.
I'm
We can still
gonna.
be
I'm
friends.
gonna try and escape. So I'm going to.
You can bonus action disengage if you want. Just fucking bolt.
Jet. Bolt. Yeah.
I'm not gonna give you the advantage, not advantage, but the +10 from pass without trace now. So-
Okay, yeah. I mean, it doesn't
I
like
need to
she
track
won't
you.
get an attack opportunity, and she just bolts past.
I
you.
know, but she's not getting.
Sure. But now, so Nakano is off, like, but yeah, she won't be getting the stealth thing. So what we're going to do is that when we come back from the break, you're going to roll stealth to see if you can meld into the crowd as you race off, and this infiltration's gone awry, and then we're going to go back to a scoop and Tammy to see what's going on there. But real quick, Machete, please roll a perception check as all this is happening.
Nope. 5.
5. You are fully focused on Nakano. I think maybe out of the corner eye you might see a sighing butler in the doorway, and that's about it. We'll be back in a little bit, guys. Stay tuned and stay safe out there. All right, and we're back. Hey, everybody. So we're going to move from Nakano's now fleeting off into the night, trying to find a ship to leave and go west as fast as possible. And we then fade back as the camera pulls back and the crowd, we lose Nakano in the crowd as Machete's like, fuck. And the butler is in the doorway. And the camera zooms out and then quickly goes down the alleyways and makes its way past bizarre tarps and awnings before finally slowing and moving up to see the courthouse and municipality and moving through the double doors, moving through the hallways, and then finding another double door opened by a bailiff that then you hear, all right,
Nice.
that order.
Thank you.
It is for the defense to call new witness, if you shall choose.
The defense or the pro?
Which one?
You're the defense.
No, we're
no,
not.
we're the prosecution.
Correct, but technically you're the defense for the piracy thing. But yeah. You know, it's because the countersuit. But yes, you're the prosecution. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Okay. Remember that time we got Sail Flick to be a key witness?
Cool. You want to use a scheme token?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna simulate flashbacks. We can do a vignette if you like, but you can. So here's the deal: you can either do a vignette, which would be attributed to your roles when it comes to flashbacks and those type of things, or you can always attempt to allow Bichem to assume that responsibility. And then she would be rolling with her stats. Obviously, your stats are probably better than hers, but one of the things that she had meant to do is like try to gather as many people as you can. So
Right.
she has
What
two.
stats are we using here? Like, what are we?
So you don't know. That's the whole thing. But she does have 2 automatic successes because she has a lot of resources. So it's up to you. Do you want to use Bichem's stats, one of Bichem's automatic successes, or do you want to do your stats?
What do you think, Scoop?
For the opening, probably Bichem success.
For Sail Flick?
Yeah.
Yeah, and those like successes would only like Bichem can only be used when it's like gathering people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
she has resources where she can like
She has
get
influence.
people there.
And that's
you know?
definitely what she's used to doing, anyways.
Yeah, she's a socialite. That's like kind of her job is to know where people are, know what's up, and then find people who know people who know people who know people. So yeah, all right. So we can automatic success. You get Sail Flick. Spend that scheme token.
Yeah.
You have Sail Flick.
Where are we keeping track of our scheme?
I believe Noelle has been doing it.
Yeah,
She stepped
Noelle.
away for a moment. She'll be
Okay.
right back. But I believe you have 15 because
had
you
18.
used
One for hurt, one for this
for Nakano, one for Michelle,
Nakano, and one
which
for-
brings you to
yeah.
15. And
So
now
we
you're
just
spending another
use
one on
one.
Sail Flick, so you're now on 14.
14. All right.
Okay. And you're going to need to use another one for making sure that the plausible deniability of the crew, because that takes effort for you to have had predetermined information of making sure that they don't know what's about to come, keeping them blindfolded, not allowing them to collaborate, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Keeping them
So that's-
separate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's technically like another flashback bit, but no role required. This is the crew will do what you tell them to do. So
Yeah.
Cool. So that'll bring you down to 13.
Yeah.
Great. You have those resources. You have Sail Flick and you have the crew.
Great.
The scene is yours.
I'd like to call Sail Flick to the stand.
There are murmurs upon the crowd, and the Bellario Barato Bengano flips through some pages. If I may, Your Honor, I do not have said individual on my witness to call list. I'm not familiar with a sale of flicker at all.
Well, maybe you have a different name written down. So you see her name is the actual sound of a Sail Flick. Her ability as a Kenku is to be able to recall and mimic sounds that she's heard perfectly.
If I remember, I believe we called them the Corvada, but or something like that. But it's over there. We'll get it in a
Sorry.
second. But
Yeah.
yes, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. At that moment, the doors open and you see this small, lithe, rather unassuming, kind of mousy, corvid individual, humid corvid individual, kind of do that whole kind of chicken thing where they step a couple steps and they look up and they kind of pull back, pull their neck back, and they step a couple of other steps and everything, and they're kind of like hiding behind the pews a little bit, and they move, and there's like a bunch of murmurs among the crowd, and then Bellari was like, withdraw my action, because understanding the species and lineage of this individual that has no grounds for what it is that he's objecting to. You call Sailflick is young. Sailflick is also very anxious. Being on the stand in a court of law is something that Sailflick would be very, very stressful for. They're basically, kind of a child, a little bit older, but like this is still a lot for someone like Sailflick. So they do the person that they recognize the most is you guys, specifically, a Scoop and Tamburn. So they do kind of come over you and they kind of grab your coattails and kind of cling to you for a moment, even though the rest of the entire proceedings are waiting for them to take the stand. They kind of look up to you and they look like very concerned.
Got the zip flick.
Yeah. I'll guide her up to the stand, and I'll just stay with her the whole time so she can just kind of grab stay holding onto me. Your Honor, if it's okay if I approach the bench with Sailflick, so she has somewhat of a comfort. As you can see, this is a stressful situation.
You see Ballard like, I object for opposite counsel to be an emotional support, and of which it would be different, treating the witness as, well, it would affect the bias of the witness, Your Honor. And the judge thinks for a moment, and like they're deep
Your Honor,
in thought.
It's a child.
I am very well aware it's a child.
I'm her security blanket at this point.
I understand. I'm all for giving her a security blanket, but you are obviously on one side of this argument. Do we not have a surrogate? No one?
A Scoop, are you able to?
You are still the prosecution.
What will it take to not be?
Is Fenme there?
Fenme's the one they were found with, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to use another scheme to get Fenme?
I'm worried that she's gonna not want to be a part of this, though.
It's up to you.
That hurt.
What do you think, Scoop?
They were on board.
They
Should
were?
I
I
want-
thought they didn't want anything to do with it.
Well, their entire ship got.
He means like
Blown up.
literally on board of the ship that was
I
destroyed.
Do we want to circle back to that? Like.
Yeah. Well, is he not going to let me just hold the hand of the child?
You go ahead and roll an insight check here.
Where's my dice?
22.
Nice.
22. You've done a really good job to try to dissuade the biasness of this judge, to try to make it pretty even keel. And the judge is trying to ride that line as well. And having someone to be emotional support that is obviously on one side of this argument to a witness is like tantamount to a different form of badgering the witness. Do you know what I mean? Like type of influencing the witness, whereas like, it's okay, I'm your support. It's like, it's like not necessarily like Stockholm Syndrome-esque, but it's like, it's as far as like, I am here for you, therefore you, like, it's kind of a transactional thing that maybe you think, and the judge is very well aware of the fragile and, what's the word I'm looking for? Suggestive psyche of children. And you can see that. And having you be a support person, you specifically, one side, that is specifically on one side or the other of the argument, could absolutely affect testimony. And the judge is just trying to do their best to make sure that's not an issue. So they're trying to get some sort of an unbiased third party to be such that, and although that you might be more comfortable, and they recognize it, because you also get the sense like there's definitely a part of the judge that's like, I don't want to do this, but I have to, because like I need to make sure that this is a proper testimony.
Right.
And I think, so mechanically how this is going to work is that if you are unable to find a surrogate for between the two of you, the testimony of Selflick could have hurdles.
Captain,
If you are able to find a surrogate that is non-biased, then it will have less hurdles, but it could cost some resources. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna keep this really brief. Maybe Sailflick can just hold it together.
Okay. You want to risk it?
What do you think, Scoop?
Would Captain
It's all gonna be
Yamada
like down to
another-
rolls that I'm doing.
An
so.
opposite side of the situation?
Or she would be absolutely terrified of Captain Yamada, right?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to neutral. Like, I know it sounds
Not
weird, but
Yamada
like,
is not neutral. though.
no, I meant like since
Imana's
you're
still
there,
in attendance
Yeah.
Since
because
you're
you
there,
wanted her to be.
I thought she left.
No, she's still here.
You made sure that she was still here.
Yeah, but I thought we rolled that on something. Dipped out. Could be
Oh,
wrong.
you mean like you asked her to leave at some
No,
point?
no. I thought something like really got to her and she just up and left.
Yamada.
I thought she still stayed. I think it got to her, but she stayed. I thought that
Okay.
was what happened.
I think that's
but
what the role was.
it
God,
was
I,
very
I really need to
close.
watch our show.
Yeah.
It's really damn good.
Yeah, you know.
I think she's still in
We-
attendance. But
Yamada. Oh,
yeah.
Was Hurt with you in EO? before?
Again, like I don't want this to be too protected. I don't want it to take too much time. Technically, Hurt is also still a member of the Pawnbringer. Technically, a captain of the Pawnbringer, so would still have some sort of bias of being on one side of this argument or the other. However,
I think it
still
comes down to
technically,
like, do we want to use a
did
scheme
you
token?
emancipate her fully?
Adopted,
Yeah.
he did.
You
He-
adopted her, but you didn't emancipate her. You adopted her. So technically, she's a child and therefore cannot have allegiances. Like, because she's not an adult. You know what I mean? Like, she can't,
I don't
like,
want
as
her
far
in
as.
this courtroom.
Yeah,
That's the only thing, though. She's a wild
probably
card.
It's probably the
I
wisest
feel like we're on
decision.
thin ice in terms of
I
wild
don't
shit.
think- was she part of that?
remember the stuff that we did off screen and in the gluten talk was that you had adopted her officially, and therefore
She would have one chance to do something out of the ordinary to get herself kicked from the island or something.
Yeah, the fact that she could be, but I think
We're both immigrants per
Yeah.
se. That's what it was.
and protected, and so like you could go
Yes.
back. But for Hurt actually being with you in EO during this situation, or if she was on the ship with Pawnbringer,
you get closer to the mic.
if she was on the ship with the Pawnbringer or in EO, that's I don't remember exactly
don't think she
where
was in
Hurt
EO.
was.
No, she wasn't. It was Fenme, Sailflick, and a Scoop that were inside of EO, if I
Yeah, I
remember
don't-
correctly.
I just don't
And
remember
I
what
think it
her.
was
Hurt
just
was still
Fenme
on the
and the Scoop.
Pawnbringer.
No, it was also Sailflick.
I think it was
because we
Sailflick too,
hid
because
we
you
hid
wanted to
them.
have all those three people hidden. And a Scoop was their, like, emotional support animal cow, daddy.
Mm-hmm. Moo.
Moo. So it's up to you. Do you want to use a scheme token to try to get Fenme here?
I'm gonna
Or
keep
do
this.
you want-
I think I can do it. I'm gonna keep it
Okay.
really brief. What do you think,
Okay.
Scoop?
If you think you can do it, you can do it.
Okay.
Okay, you escort Sailflick up to the witness stand and have her sit, and she looks kind of worried as you kind of close the door, like the little like, you know, employee gate type of thing from like behind the counter type, like a bartender gate, and you stand there and you work your way back to the center of the floor. And, you know, they have that, like, lowered head, hunched.
As we can see, this is extremely difficult for the witness, so I will keep it brief.
You
Sailflick.
see Sailflick clock several members of the crew and clock Captain Amata immediately, and you see that she's not making contact with you at all and fully locked in, like, irises completely dilated, like absolute sheer utter terror.
Here's the thing, though, with my other scheme token, I think that it would have made sense to have people of the Sudamabura out of the room for this particular part.
Yes. What I mean is particularly Captain Amata,
But I
because
think
she is still here.
it would just be blanket. They would all kind of have to be out of the room for this.
So you want Captain Amata in here for part of the proceedings when it came to what she was being accused of and hearing the testimony of character witness, but then you want to ask her to leave after that?
I think it makes sense due to the nature of this testimony to not have anybody from the Sutamabura in the room when this testimony is given, right? It makes sense because we wouldn't, like, if somebody could influence.
This is beautiful.
The other
No, I love
person.
this. I think this is an approach the bench situation, where this is something that you would talk to the judge about, like, it, given the emotional nature of this, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
We would child blah 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 blah. Prefer to have these people in attendance wait outside in order to. Yeah, I would say that would be a role for you. That would be like your type of
And I
persuasion
also
to the thing.
I assume that the judge understands the nature of this testimony, where I'm going to question the members blindfolded. I'm going to question members of the Sutamabura.
Yeah, they have been briefed. Yes.
Yeah.
As you bring them in one by one, blindfolded as such. That's absolutely okay. I would say the scheme token to get all this prepped, you're good. That's done. No roll required. You're done.
No, I understand.
The role to actually get the judge to allow this type of thing and pretty much play musical chairs with their courtroom is going to be a role. Does that make sense?
Right. Your Honor, I may permission to approach the bench.
They again, like, turn their head to just recognize, and, like, you know, the defenses and the prosecutions area, and they're like,
Due to the emotional distress of the witness upon seeing members of the Sutamabura.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. When you approach the bench, it is, by law, both the prosecution lawyer and the defense lawyer have to approach the bench at the same time because they have to be privy to the same type of information. Yeah. So Bellaria will be there, just so you know. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Please continue.
And also, due to the fact that the answers to the question, well, you understand how I'm bringing in witnesses from the Sutamabura to recognize the voice that Sailflick imitates.
Yes, I have been briefed.
I don't want any kind of, communication between members of the Sutamabura, and I don't think Bellaria would want that either in the case of this testimony. So I think it makes sense for members of the Sutamabura to not be present in the room during this testimony.
Except for explicitly stated in the what it is that you and your method.
Except
that
for
you
the
plan to
single
do.
individuals. Yeah.
Yes,
One at a time, as it were.
As you have put it, your auditory lineup.
Yes.
As they flip a paper that they can't see.
There's probably Braille on there, right?
You want to take a look?
Yeah, is it Braille?
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Can I? I mean, I have eyes, right?
Eyes can see.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's angled away from you. This is more like trying to sneak onto somebody else's test score type of thing.
10.
10? You're unable to tell. But it does seem odd that they flipped the paper.
Your Honor, why'd you flip the paper if you're blind? No, I'm just kidding.
You want to interrogate
No,
the judge? Okay.
He was just kidding.
That
Great,
was a
great,
joke. I didn't
beautiful.
say that.
Go ahead and roll persuasion at advantage. Why he says, but I was like, Your Honor, this is very unorthodox, and I have to say, quite out of character for this type of proceedings, but I will amend and allow and will bend the knee to such types of proceedings if you deem it as, fair and true. I do only ask one single amendment to such a constitutive continuation of such questioning, and that be that I feel like blindfolding is a bit of a fair and unusual punishment for civilians that have not been prosecuted in a court of law. Shouldn't we allow them to see the person that they are being accused of? Or it is by right, their right to witness what is happening here.
But
They
you
can
understand
witness.
I'm asking them to identify who is speaking. And if they see who is speaking, then it'll affect their testimony. And they've all agreed to this. They've all agreed to being blindfolded.
So go ahead and roll persuasion at advantage. Like, you could definitely tell Bellario is grasping at straws.
Yeah.
They're
26.
really good at trying to devalue
Oh.
people. 26.
Tammy.
That was a 22 on
Clear.
Bellario's side.
Hey.
So hell
Lock 'em up.
yeah. So the judge goes like, raises a hand, like, we won't blindfold the individuals, but we will have them face away from the stand and face the door and be put in one of the pews that is farthest away, so that they will not. I do agree with you that blindfolding is an infringement upon civilians' rights, but
Did make very comfortable.
walking in
beautiful
backwards is
blindfolds.
not. Please bring in your witness.
Guess I'll just throw them away then.
They were really cool. The blindfolds were awesome.
You mumble going
They're
back
really-
to your stand, being like, I guess I'll throw away all these fucking blindfolds.
Like they were bespoke blindfolds, you know?
They're
They
really
were
beautiful. They're I
bespoke.
made them comfortable, sateen.
Like each one individualized that person, so it reflected their personality. you
Yeah,
know,
and looked like their
it's-
eyes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
whatever.
A scoop. What's your passive perception for me one more time? I'm
20.
going to ask you this like 100 times. Okay. A scoop. You notice something. You notice that there is, it looks to be about like 3 individuals in the farthest back pews that appear to be wearing, or like whether it be like compacts that they're like doing makeup on, or like wearing, or have an adornment of some type of like reflective material that very well could allow someone who is looking at the back and like not able to see the front, kind of like a rear view mirror, to be able to see what is in front. You don't recognize any of these people. They look to be either of very low society or perhaps high society, neither of which seem to be the proper audience for these proceedings. Go ahead and roll an insight check.
25.
25. So as is most of the court, when it comes to like a flashback, when it comes to like scheduling what you're going to do as far as like your witness list, both like the defense and the prosecution have to be aware of what's happening so they can prepare cross-examinations and a bunch of other stuff. You know what I mean? So there is absolutely a decent chance that Belardo Bengano knew that you were going to do this, pull this type of stunt, because you had to be able to do it. That's like part of the flashback is letting the judge know, letting everybody else know in the court. And there's a chance that these people could be plants to try to circumvent these acts, to try to, whether these people try to look or not, enable them to be able to see who's actually on the stand saying these words. Just by the fact that they're just people sitting there. Just like how you pay in New York. Oh my God, this is the thing, for real. How you pay somebody to sit in your car during street sweeping so you don't get a ticket, because you can't get a ticket if someone is in the car during street
Yeah.
sweeping. Like, it's like paying somebody to...
It's like $30. So what do they pay? On,
No,
like
the ticket's
$5?
$250. What are you talking about?
Alternate side? No,
I have
I've
been
gotten
caught
that ticket.
Yeah, in
$255.
Manhattan? Are you kidding me?
Inflation.
Yeah.
Okay, well in Brooklyn it's like $35.
No, in Manhattan it's
Manhattan,
so
it's a
bad.
lot.
It's so bad. But anyway, like but like these people looked like they are plants to like try to like. There's a reason why Bellario's like, well, they don't need to be blindfolded, and they're like, okay, fine, but they can't see. But like their people like have been put with like reflective things. Like some people like doing their makeup and like purposely putting their mirror in a way where somebody could, if their eye was errant, see who is on the stand. And you're clocking that right away. You have really high passive perception. You have really high insight, and you're like, fuck this motherfucker. Like he really knows his shit, and he's really like, and it's all within the letter of the law. Still like hedging all of his fucking bets. But you notice that immediately. Right before Tammy is about to bring in the first person.
Would there be what's the lighting source here?
It is mostly overhead. And via the windows. The windows are only on one side. So if I'm the judge, the witness stand is to my left, and most of the windows are also to my left along the wall where the jury also sits. Okay?
Okay.
And that's where most of the daylight is coming in. There's also some supplemental daylight from the vaulted ceiling, whether it be chandelier or magical lighting. However, the other wall to the judge's right is solid. And just there's no lighting there, pretty much.
So where they're at, they're by the window, I assume.
Yeah, most of these individuals, yes, are on the. If the judge is looking at like the bailiff's door that comes in, from the judge's perspective, would be off to the left because that would allow the reflection to be of the witness stand. Yes.
Reminder that the judge is very keen on verbal spells.
And how far away is that?
It is the very last pew of the like just audience, as it were. Like if you walked into the door, it'd be your immediate right, and you'd sit in that pew.
Yeah, but like, is it 120 feet?
No, it's not that far away. Like I'd say, like at maximum like 30, maybe. It's not that. The courtroom's not that large.
The only thing I really got. I'll tell Tamron about the situation. Tamron, there's seems like they're showing the reflection on the side. I might cast. Oh, wait, can't tell. Fuck. Actually, I think if the judge hears this because he has good hearing.
The judge was mad that somebody tried to
hold
affect
on.
their mind.
Let me try something first before.
Well, I'm just gonna say it because if the judge can hear it, that's perfectly fine. Because, well, or at least that's what I think. Because if I can,
also the judge knows how court of law works. Like they know that you're allowed to have your own, like private discussions off, like as a sidebar.
Yeah.
You're allowed to do that, and the judge is by law, not allowed to intentionally listen in. That's like your prerogative. That's like attorney-client privilege type of stuff. Like that's fine.
I know, but I want him to technically hear this, that I'm gonna be casting a spell, but it's not towards the audience, it's towards the lighting, which is outside, so the reflection is unclear, or because that's where a majority of the light's coming from.
Or maybe
And
we
I'm
And
just
you
have
want
mirrors.
the judge to hear this?
I was gonna do fog cloud, so it's not like I'm.
Oh, interesting. You want to like cast fog cloud outside to make the lighting very dim, to make it very
Yeah.
difficult to see through the reflections?
Yes.
Yeah, you could absolutely do that.
I think that's great. I think
that's-
that's reasonable
that's-
too.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's fucking brilliant. Nice fucking
That's
job.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool as shit. You know what I will say is, go ahead. Are you trying to do this stealthily?
I mean, I'll try to keep it as minimal as possible.
Okay, could just go ahead and roll a stealth check then for me. Just that's all.
Maybe so the judge hears, but not Olario. He'd be like, objection. Blah, 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 blah.
Well,
I don't like
Aurelio
this.
is your lawyer.
Oh,
Bellario
sorry.
is the other
Oh,
one.
come on with these names, bro.
7.
7, beautiful. So, if you don't mind, I take a little bit of agency here. I think a Scoop walks up to Tamrin and is like, "Yo, Vin, there's like a bunch of reflective stuff over there. I think this is bad," and just does a big old dad sneeze as the vocal component for Fog Cloud. Just like, "Achoo!" and so everybody hears it and is like super startled. But then like this like thunder, and then like the fog just starts to. So it looks like the mist, you know,
Yeah.
from outside.
Oh, that
like
should
very
take care of
Silent
the
Hill.
reflections then.
Yeah, and it's going to make it very, very difficult to see through the reflections just because there's not as much light, and whatever light is coming through has like a type of glare, and it's like it's everything is darkened in here quite a bit. And what that causes is that some of the other magical lighting and supplemental lighting has to get brighter so people cannot feel like they're in a fucking dark dungeon. And because of that causes glare in a lot of the angles of the reflections. And so yeah, you're good. Like you feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
all these plants here, and also these people who have been planted here are not smart enough to understand photovoltaic angles. So like that's the
why?
you know like
I didn't take a photography class.
I'm sorry, not
Like,
photovoltaic,
seriously.
like photonic angles as much as like that type in that type of way, or being like, well, I
Okay,
tried,
they're
I got
not
paid,
wizards. All right,
whatever,
all right.
you know. Um,
That's awesome.
I think you see the tiniest little bit of frown come from the corner of Bellario as you do that, as you like kind of like pull up the tissue and go blow your nose and make full eye contact with Bellario.
Yeah, can we just like give him a look, just like,
Yeah. We saw you, bitch. Like you've been
Allergies.
red.
We got those sometimes.
You know that springtime air. It's just
Yeah.
I thought it was winter, but
Beautiful.
all right.
it is winter, but like it could be spring. It could
You're
be
like
fall
you were
spring.
you were old man in winter going achoo, it's cold. So beautiful. That's gorgeous. So that problem is gone. No roll required, pretty much. Great. So you call your first witness. Rather than going through obviously like 35 different crew members, we're going to simulate this.
And also, hopefully, that cheers up Sailflick a little bit. Just a little.
Let's find out.
oh, silly dad sneeze.
The silly dad sneeze does
The loud
seem
sneeze.
to
Yeah.
break her does seem to like break her type of like rut that she's in as far as like the massive anxiety where she sees the dad sneeze and she's like that type of thing, where she does repeat your sneeze and goes like Achoo!
Is it perfect?
It's perfect,
Hell yeah.
which is also to the jury in the Ryomi. It's like okay. I say just that alone is going to give you a D6 for that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go Scoop.
Nice.
Go Scoop.
This is still on the Imada
Yeah.
thing,
So we're
right?
up to 3d6.
Correct.
So dad sneeze D6. You got it.
But it's establishing she's a perfect
Yes, perfect mimic.
emulator.
It's also, a
Burns us
common
another-
lore to know that this species and lineage is very good at mimicry. I'm sorry, Angela, what were you saying?
Thought, like my notes, a scoop sneeze earns us
D sneezies.
Yeah,
D
D sneeze.
D-sneeze! Peanuts. So,
Awesome.
all right, so
How has nobody thought of peanuts before? It's too good.
I know.
I thought of it like 6 months ago, but I didn't want to say it until this
Yeah, it
moment.
doesn't. You have to wait for a vote. You can't just
It
say
was a-
peanut.
I was
He was-
exploding. I was exploding. Not thinking. Okay. Anyway. So you call individuals one by one by one. Am I correct in assuming that the line that you're having Sailflick repeat is "No witnesses, no survivors"? Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Of which was Corvus. What's his name?
Korsh, I think, right?
Korsh. Yeah.
Yeah.
The not the first mate, but the bosun, I believe he was the
Yeah.
bosun.
Something along those lines.
Yeah. Cool. Of which you had figured out that like quite a few of the members of the officers were under some type of, not just the captain, but
Yeah.
or no, I'm sorry. Korsh was the one from the Red Lion Syndicate, wasn't he?
Korsh was like basically her right hand man to.
So the first mate was Zari Lotfi.
Yeah,
And I believe the bosun, who was the person, the bosun is the person who's in charge of the crew. And I believe that was the Korsh was the Red Lion Syndicate member, weren't they?
I'm just trying to prove with a witness and a survivor that the Black Cauldron ship blew up and destroyed a civilian ship.
Correct. But there are just many layers of this, so let me just double check. I'm sorry, Korsh is the first mate.
Yeah.
Zari
that's why I was-
Lotfi is the quartermaster.
Right.
Oh.
She's so high up.
The
Yeah.
bosun
But
was
Korsh
Fruth
is way up there.
Lovud.
Yeah.
So the Fruth Lovud was the Red Lion Syndicate member.
Korsh was her.
Korsh was her first mate.
Yeah.
And the quartermaster was Zari Lotfi. Yes. Korsh the Savage, it was called.
Yep.
Okay.
All very important roles, though,
Yes.
but in different ways.
We're down to 13 scheme tokens.
Was
with
sunk
the
no warning in order
13,
to
does
cover
that
the track
cost-
the
that
captain's
cost
plasma
another one?
to the course have no wins.
No, we're
Getting
down.
Sailflick costs
boarding
one,
party
and
attack
then
the teleport
getting
ships,
this,
Sailflick,
all the
who-
witnesses to be
Okay.
blindfolded costs.
Yeah.
a
As,
second.
as
Right.
from what you had understood before, both Captain Imada Yukari and Korsh were under some sort of influence. And apparently were the only two that were under the influence. And because of their power, as far as like where they were up in the echelons of power, the other ones just had to kind of go along with the flow, even given their misgivings, at the risk of mutiny, which is big deal. So, like big deal. Also, if you try to justify mutiny in this type of court, it's gonna be real fucking hard, especially since you have a jury of Ryomi. So yes, you have Sailflick imitate Korsh's voice. I'm gonna roll at advantage performance for Sailflick, just to see, not super hard, just trying to double check some things. Really well.
Sorcery point. Oh, she rolled well. Never mind.
She rolled very well,
Good job.
for a total of 27.
Good job.
It is nigh unanimous, except for those who abstain that say, I'm not sure and I don't want to lie in a court of law and have it be mistaked, so I'm going to abstain. I'm not really sure whose voice that is, which were just a handful of the dozens of crew members that were there. It is nigh unanimous that's Korsh's voice. That's Korsh's voice. That's Korsh's voice. That's Korsh's voice. And each member that goes by, you see Bellario just get sunken deeper and deeper and deeper into their chair with the pot belly sticking out more and more from their lithe frame.
Nice play.
Yeah, that's
At
it.
the end, you
Wait.
have. I will roll something for. Yeah, the Sailflick is able to keep it together.
Well,
Hell yeah.
Good job.
generally,
You had her pretty much for 40 times repeat the words that she heard right before she experienced severe trauma. So it's in the voice of the person who did it to her. So it's a lot, but she's able to just barely keep it together.
was there still like facial reactions and whatnot? Because that kind of influences the judgment of the crowd as well. Saying like,
The jury, yeah.
It's,
Oh, but you couldn't see facial reactions from the crew because they're
from
turned the other way.
Sailflick.
No, the jury. From like the 30th
Facial
time
reactions
that she...
from a Corvida,
Sailflick.
Corvada, are difficult because they
Oh,
have
okay, yeah.
bird.
Well-
They don't have like moving
well,
lips.
sorry,
they
I
just
meant
have
like just their
beak.
overall like.
Their demeanor is it. You
Yes.
yes, absolutely. As far as like they become. You can see each one is taking an emotional toll on them. Like they're becoming more and more emotionally exhausted. By the end
Court
of
have
it,
lollipops to give to children after they testify.
I feel like
no, but you could prestidigitate a lollipop if you want.
Can I give her a lollipop?
Yeah, just like how you do the rose thing, you can pull a lollipop out.
But does
instead.
she get to eat the lollipop, or is it not a real lollipop?
maybe in this case it might be okay.
I mean, it's technically it's a trinket. Some are illusory. Some are
All
just
right.
like you could just be like, "There's a piece of chalk." It's just a small magic trick. Just
Are
like
you
pulling,
telling
you
me
know,
that I could have made chalk this whole time?
20 gold.
We need to stitch that together with the other one.
you can make one piece of chalk that lasts for
That's all
like
you
10
need.
minutes. It's not magic chalk.
What?
It's
But
not-
it comes from magic.
It's
so it's
not.
magic chalk.
You
It's
need the
not
chalk and then the-
spell component worthy chalk. It is chalk that you could say, be like, "Here, I drew this thing," and then they all disappear after 10 minutes.
It's
Type of thing.
are you, s-
It's
are you
definitely
saying
20 gold. 20 gold.
It is
for
a
some,
minor magic trick, just like how you see someone pull a rabbit out of a hat, or like a,
But can
a,
she-
a rose out of their
Can she
sleeve,
eat the
or like here's a
lollipop?
lollipop out of my wrist, or here's a
Can I
dime
give
after
this
your
child a
ear.
lollipop, for God's sake?
Yes, that's what I
Okay.
said. Yes, you can.
Okay.
You give the child who has a beak a lollipop, and they do the owl
Has she
thing
got
of
a
the Tootsie
tongue?
Pop. A 1, a 2, a 3. A 3 licks is what it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. And they are very it is rough on them, and they are needed to be like escorted and everything. And the judge is sympathetic. We're saying like, please, can we have the bailiff escort them to wherever their caretakers are at the moment. Bellario looks a bit concerned because all of his like kind of boom, boom, boom little pieces have been kind of cut off at the pass. And the judge is not allowed to weigh opinion on this. But you are allowed to close that statement with all of this stuff. What would you like to say, Tammy?
As you can see, it's clear that this child was traumatized by an individual named Korsh, who was the first mate on the Sutamabora. And she was
Their ship was
irrefutably-
destroyed.
Yep, and she was irrefutably a member of the ship that was destroyed en route, a civilian ship that was destroyed en route to their homelands.
Um,
And the fog cloud.
Bellario
Bless
has
you.
one last
No,
objection.
I,
It's like, yeah, no,
No.
you're fine. Yeah.
no, the fog cloud just ends right there.
Yeah.
You just have the fog cloud and as
As
the
a
sunlight
sneeze.
goes like, then truth shall set you free. And you have Bellario have like one last ditch objection. Goes like, do we have any, pardon me, objection, Your Honor, but do we have any documentation as to the truth of these claims? Any manifest of any ship that was in this area? Any type of, I don't know, route plan of such a ship? Any departure of a port and which it could possibly have intercepted with such a route?
Well, there's no
Are we
way
supposed to
we
just
would
take
have
these people at
started
their
this
word?
argument without the evidence to back up this claim. So obviously, we have these documents.
Yeah, do you? Where'd you get these
I mean,
documents?
We've gotten it like a while back, the ship's log, right?
Oh, that's right. You
We
got
did,
it. You
like,
got it from
a long time ago. We got it.
the Cauldron Initiative. Yes. As far as I don't think you had a manifest of the other ship though.
We
did you?
got the Sutamabora, I thought, the manifest.
Correct. You had their captain
Yeah.
record, so you can be like, I actually have the captain's record's right here.
Which, honestly,
Yeah,
if
suck
he was
it.
as good of a lawyer as he was, he wouldn't have brought that up because he knows that that's a failing argument.
He's desperate.
Hey, let's go.
He was desperate in
Go,
this
Tammy.
specific thing.
Go, Oscar.
He wasn't expecting you to actually have access to said things, or I think he was expecting to, like, well, if the ship is sunk, then there's no fucking manifest, so how they would be able to fucking prove it. And so what you are technically submitting into evidence is somewhat hearsay, but also, because the jury is Ryomi, why the fuck wouldn't they believe a captain's log?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically, it would be something that the judge would be, and we won't role play this because I'll just make it simple. It would be something where the judge would be sustained. That is not technically official. It might be a captain's log, but unless we have the actual manifest or port documents of somebody else, we can't actually verify these claims. But even though the judge says sustained, the jury still heard it.
The jury heard that shit.
The jury
Yeah.
heard that shit.
Good
And if
job.
it's in the fucking
That's it.
if it's in the fucking captain's log, you best believe the Ryomi are gonna be like, why the fuck would the captain's like, even if the captain wasn't in their right mind, and you're still putting up like, why would a captain in their right mind that would feel a type of way put that in there? Like, there would be no reason that they would incriminate themselves. Why would they incriminate themselves? That doesn't make any sense. And so although the judge and officially the court as a whole feels like you didn't get anywhere at all with this, like it was a wash, the jury still heard all of that shit. And that's absolutely going to affect their decision, whether or not they're told by the judge to disregard all of that information. So because of that, you guys get another D6 towards this thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's 46 total.
That's 4d6 towards this, yes. If you rest on this argument, the defense also rests on this argument.
I rest.
What about their counter sue? Do we have to
For
deal with that now?
piracy,
Yeah. Do we have to deal with that now? Or I know I'm not there.
this
but I'm just
this
curious.
specific argument was about Captain Amatica's mental state and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So their countersue for piracy is going to bring up more evidence as to what you did during those types of things.
Okay.
We need character witnesses for that.
And so here's what will happen is that Bellari will be like, I'll rest on this case, but if you've submitted such a log of captains into Discovery, which I assume you have, therefore you can pull it up, then I hope you don't mind, as I also pull from such logs that the ship was assaulted by unaffiliated members of an unrecognized group. Now, if we are to take the captain at their word, of which I personally prefer not to necessarily take anybody at their word without proof, but if we are to lean on these types of admissions, then should we not all give the same type of credence to said admission that there was an assault upon a military vessel by unaffiliated members not flying a flag aboard what has been documented as the Painbringer? If I'm looking at this page in this subsection C right here.
Why would that? Why would
So-
that even...
Regardless of whatever these individuals aboard this military vessel had said or had done or supposedly had been accused of doing, by the prosecution's own admittance, they did assault the Sutamabura. That we know for sure.
Well,
on both
yeah,
sides, we have documents.
Everybody saw us do that, and also we were doing it because they were acting paramilitarily. They were
Actually,
acting
how would that-
outside of the military. That's what we're trying to prove here. They
And
were
you have
acting-
proof of said thing?
And how would
That's
that
what
even...
we've been trying to do. That was what this whole testimony was about, and the testimony before that. Keep up, man. Come on.
How would that even
Can we
be
get
in
a
the
+1 for
logs?
sass there? Like,
How would
That was
that
good.
even be? How would that even be in the logs? Captain Yamato was watching the entire time. Everyone was captured.
Yes, how indeed.
There was no way she could have wrote it in there.
Go ahead and roll a insight check, a scoop.
I'm just saying this out loud. So.
Yeah.
Can you say that again?
I said
I
how.
just-
Oh, sorry. You can.
No, you do it.
Oh,
because it's
how was
your
that in the
job.
log if we already captured them and we were pretty much watching them the entire time?
Hmm.
So, what was it? Insight? 17.
Yeah. 17. There was one individual that was not entirely under your purview that almost got away, if you remember, during that
Who?
time. Fruth Lovud. Remember the transportation circle that's within the hold of the Sutamabura?
No, he wasn't able to get away because
He
they
wasn't
wouldn't
able to
let-
get away, but he almost did. Remember how he was talking with somebody? He wasn't
No,
under
the person refused to help him.
Exactly. But they were not on the deck with you. They were able to get away from the deck. There was a moment of time, a couple minutes of time where they were not under your supervision.
So, wouldn't the captain isn't that like the whole book of a captain's log? That the captain can only
Scoop,
write in it?
as you're looking at the handwriting of this book, there appears to be even the slightest. We're given a 17 and how you're really good at this stuff, and because Nakano told you what to look for, there appears to be some sort of a small discrepancy as when it comes to the handwriting here of like the log. Almost like someone else made a note here just to cover their ass, just in case.
Damn, it looks like forgery.
That's gonna be really hard to prove.
On the captain's log. But don't
Yeah.
we want them to believe this is all from the captain anyway, right? So maybe we shouldn't.
But the record
bring that
of
up.
them being assaulted by
By us.
by
Oh,
piracy was in there.
well, maybe we can hire on the next recess. Maybe we can hire like a handwriting expert to
You have
go through
one.
this.
Yeah, but then that's also gonna be biased.
And we
Yeah.
could also use Captain Imada say, "Did you write this?" And
Well, we're trying to prove that she's unstable, right? So I don't know if we want to use her testimony.
What all this is doing at the moment is that, Scoop, you get the feeling that this might be somebody else that did this, but it's enough of a blade of grass for the defense to cling on to continue this court case, to have a reasonable doubt, and that's all they need to be able to continue. That's all they need. And it's because it's going to be really, really, really difficult for them to prove. And as you get like deeper and deeper into this stuff, like whoever might be pulling the strings or whoever like working together, this really thought a lot of this out. Like they thought a lot of this out. So whoever's in charge of this, who's ever doing this type of thing, made it so they had their asses covered on multiple different angles, that it would be very, very difficult to ever trace back to some type of individual, if this is even a conspiracy. If it is even a conspiracy at all, like this is not an easy win. But at the moment, you seem like you have a decent handle on the whole Captain Amada being, not of right sound and mind, given all of his other type of evidence, the chef, the auditory lineup, a bunch of other types of things. You also then posited that the Korsh was also not of sound in mind either, which is a bonus, which is why you get that extra D6. So you see kind of Bellario just being like, well, now I'm hanging on, so I'm going to change the subject. You see, we're like, well, then perhaps we should move on. Perhaps I should call a new witness, and we should move on to another subject, regardless of piracy or otherwise. We should speak about the legitimacy of said claims for the denizens of Zoncourt. If my understanding is correct, and all of these records are to be trusted as is, and all of them has been agreed upon by both the prosecution and the defense, there was an assassin sent among the denizens of Zoncourt to assassinate and kill, under the cover of darkness, secrecy, and covertness, the captain of the flagship of the peacemaking ship of the Cauldron Initiative, the Sutamabora. Both parties have admitted that this did happen and has been submitted as fact. So how does this type of clandestine assassinative action does not warrant retaliatory recompense? I call my first witness. I call Quartermaster Zari Lotfi. And we're going to take a zoom out from there as we then see Nakano rushing through the crowd. Masheni sprinting after her. I'm going to have you both roll athletics checks to see if you can catch up to each other.
What is your speed, Nakano? Typically?
So fast.
So fast.
No, I'm not fast at all. I'm not athletic, so.
That's
Well,
just
just-
fuck boy.
Just your speed. Are you 30 feet or?
60.
Okay, so that would be your.
No, your movement speed, the number that's up there.
Oh, 30. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I can move 40 at my normal pace.
So
okay.
Masheni moves faster than you.
So I can keep.
Okay.
I can keep up with you.
So I guess it depends on how well.
Yeah. Can I? Without. She doesn't have pass without trace on her. Can I keep up and track where she is? Is basically what it comes down to.
Right.
I know.
Stop, buddy.
5 minutes.
Go ahead and roll a survival check then.
That is hello. That's 22.
You got it. Go ahead. Nakano, roll a stealth check at disadvantage.
$22.
Ooh, so
Same.
do it again. That's
All right.
rollies.
Rollies. Come on. Nope. Unless you roll real
Disadvantage,
bad.
right?
Yeah.
16.
What did you get, Masheni?
12.
12. So there's this moment where Masheni, you move faster than her and you're able to weave and bob through here, and you reach out and you feel like I've got her. I'm gonna tackle her. We're gonna roll to the ground, Simba and Nala style, and and then at the very last minute you see out of the corner of their eye, because of just how good Nakano is at this stuff, one of her limbs just kind of flick your hand away with one of her spidery limbs with absolute just dexterous whiplash force, and you're kind of knocked off kilter as they move back and further into the crowd, continue to move towards the docks. There's a moment here that you can attempt to grab onto the limb. You're gonna hurt Nakano.
Yeah.
There you have that whole thing of like, I got one, like this is my only option, just because of like the way your leverage is and how you're standing and
Sure.
how your balance is. You could possibly grab onto her limb and try to pull it like a rope and like yank her and like suplex her on the ground. And that's the best you're gonna be able to do.
Okay.
That's if this is gonna hurt her though.
I know.
Okay.
Isn't you? Remember when we were back together? I wouldn't hurt you like this if you weren't you.
What'd you get?
For what type of roll?
It's going to be an AC against her. It's a hit.
Unarmed, so
So proficiency plus strength,
21.
21. That'll hit.
Yep.
Okay. So you'll take a D4 point of damage, and Nakano, you can roll another Wisdom saving throw.
3 points of damage.
As Machine kind of yanks your leg, and you feel it tug, and your like legs pop out from under you,
3.
and you. Poof. Wisdom saving throw was a total of 3.
At advantage?
No.
Whoops.
4 at advantage.
Wait, what did you roll on the die, my dude?
2 and 3.
Ah!
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
So you pull one of the legs, and she goes like, "Phew," and on her back, and then quickly skitters to the top like a spider, pulling themselves back upright. And then you see her, Dr. Octopus style, type of like push herself up with like 3 of her limbs, and she snaps her other limb for you, and she just stares at you, and then not even walking and sprinting anymore, but now along her spidery limbs that are moving, that are like quickly moving in between the crowd and just finding tiny little spots between people to raise her up taller as she then skitters through the crowd, not trying to be stealthy anymore, just bursts through and keeps moving fast past you. You have like, you can shoot her with your bow, and that's about it.
Or my shock.
Or in this state, and like you move faster than her still, but goddamn, is she good at fucking if she doesn't want to be found, it's going to be very difficult to find her.
Okay. I know. Are you gonna help me pick out a spell, buddy? Okay. Yep. Those are all really good. I know. I mean, I'll bonus action put a force damage on this.
Okay.
Pull into my other selves. I need her to snap the fuck out of this. This is not okay.
You gonna shoot her?
Yeah, and I'll use my chakram because
Okay.
I know it's still not as. She's still within range of it, and it's still not as much damage as what my bow would be. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I 19 to hit.
I think that hits, right, Nakano? Because you have an AC of 17.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, go ahead and roll your damage.
Seriously, snap out of it. Come on.
It's for damage I do D4.
No, she's doing damage against
Oh.
you.
I know.
You can. Oh, right. If you want to
Uncanny
reduce it, you could uncanny dodge.
You should do it.
Could do.
What's the damage?
18 damage.
18 points of damage. What are you doing?
Could use uncanny dodge.
That just halves it.
Yeah.
What are you rolling?
I don't know.
Okay.
She should. Again, I'm hitting her one more time, so like.
Yeah. No, she'll be able to roll another wisdom saving throw.
Okay. The only reason I'm doing this more
So
is
you take 9 points of damage, and you're going to
Yeah.
roll another wisdom saving throw.
at advantage,
advantage.
You see the chakram coming towards you, and at the very last minute, you have that like kind of spidey sense, of this thing coming towards you, and it could very well dismember the chakram. coming towards you, and it could very well dismember one of your spidery limbs as you just at the last second kind of like hit it with your elbow so it doesn't cut your spidery limb off, which allows you to uncanny dodge it. What was your wisdom saving throw?
I got a natural
I can't hear you.
And
nat
natural what?
20.
Yeah!
Yes.
Yeah.
Fucking finally! Yay!
That was brutal.
Yeah.
So this is what happens. You have this. You hear this chakram coming in, and you know that sound. You know this is Misheni's chakram as it comes through the air, and you look up, and it's just about to sever one of your spidery limbs as you reach up to try to bump it, and instead you just catch it. You catch it in the air, and it slices your hand. You're like for a moment, and then the pain. And as you're holding this chakram, because you know where she got this chakram, this was a chakram made by her father, who like her or one of her stepdad's father, of which she has yet to see since she's been taken away from that position in her life. And she threw this at you to hurt you. And there's this moment of like, my friend would not do that unless it was super, super serious. And you finally have this moment of clarity as you hold this in your hand, and you let it go as the blood drips from your hand. It drops to the ground and gets kicked around just a little bit by the other people that happen to be here. As some people start to scatter as there appear to be like blood and certain things, like people just kind of, what the fuck, and start to move about. Just minor panic. And you come to. You come to your senses. And you see Misheni a bit above the crowd, like on a stairwell approach, a ways off, that like looks at you, and you look back.
All right. Sorry. You send that back and let's get back on to business, hey?
Yeah.
You okay?
Sorry.
No, you're good. You were messed up. I'm glad you're back.
So what did I miss?
You remember everything.
Oh, okay.
You remember everything, which is
Got it.
probably why it's like so fuck. Because you just have that kind of like post-charm clarity as far as like, being able to be like, oh shit, what was I doing? Like, what was I thinking? Like, why would I force my friend to have to like physically hurt me with something that she deems so precious to herself?
I'll run up to her, give her a hug. Come on, let's go. Get back to what you were doing.
You guys,
I'll give her pass without a trace bonus again at this point.
You got it. You guys skitter your way back to the room or the building. And as per being due diligence and understanding not to just run back into the building, you do kind of do a lap around the building. And what you do notice is that now the butler appears to be in the room speaking to another individual who's in the room, of which is not facing the window. Somebody is in there now. The butler is in there as well. The butler makes eye contact with you, Nakano, even though they have their eyes closed. Their gaze, where their head is faced, looks at you before it quickly looks back. You feel like you've been clocked. This person is in the room. The butler is in the room as well, which means this person is literally anywhere, is not anywhere but the room. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, the Vidomo or whoever.
The Vidomo is not anywhere in the room. You and Misheni together also then realize whatever part of this room that appears to be blocked off, that makes this room smaller, is also not occupied by this individual. And then you put two and two together again of, why would you ever only have one exit to a room if you're trying to be covert? And I think both of you made eye contact with each other and being like, the butler, right? the butler is keeping this person occupied. If we can find the back way into this room where they're probably keeping all their stuff, we could get to where we need to go and get what it is we need to get. But you have to like move, and you have to move fast. So what do you do?
Full tilt boogie.
Full tilt boogie. Roll an investigation check. What are you doing, Nakano?
Same.
Same. Yeah.
And
You're
she
rolling an
can go-
investigation check because you guys are looking for.
Nat 20.
Is that the second one in a row?
No, I've had.
Well, it's Nakano then you, right?
16.
Cool. So, Misheni, you are able to see, one of those like cellar door outside things?
Yeah.
There appears to be one that is in addition to the other one that's like flat. That's quite a ways away, like near, it's almost like a manhole cover from this, and that appears to be covered by like dirt and other gravel. As when you are running around the perimeter, you feel your steps on it like have a different type of sound.
Right.
And
It's
you
like
move
those
the gravel.
manhole covers in New York City where you walk over it and you're like, oh no.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, kind of like
the
that, except it's
doors
like
to the
completely
basement.
covered.
Yeah.
From visual, you can't see it, but like the sound it makes when you walk over it from the gravel cracking, you're like, oh, there's something under here, and you sweep it under, and then you pull it up, and both of you jump down. As your survival instincts have to tell you, there's it's definitely connected to this. This is like it's almost like a bootlegger's tunnel, or like like that type of thing, and you make your way through that. You find your way to a cobweb covered, but it's somewhat recently cleaned of cobweb, except along the areas of which like there might be a railing or however, of like a spiral staircase that appears to go up into several different exits of one that goes to what looks like kind of like a dumb waiter, like a rope dumb waiter for like laundry. Another one appears to go to what looks like a attic crawl space that you can see as you like kind of glance into it and look into it. There are crates of like almost like Prohibition era, way too strong alcohol type of things. They're just crates and crates and like milk crates and milk crates and milk crates of these types of things. And then you move up and you find what you assume is the third floor, and there's this absolute pristine, nice like drafting desk with a very and it's it's completely dark. The only person that can see is Nakano. As you can see this drafting desk, it's absolutely dark. There is stacks of documents. There is a lamp here. There's a very comfortable ergonomic style chair. It's got one of those armrests that is meant to like so that you can write on it really well and it can be moved. Like this person is extra, extra, extra. And you hear, actually roll perception checks for me.
Nine.
Oof, Macheni
18.
got. That makes sense. Macheni's a little disoriented by, like, she keeps going up the stairs, not realizing she bumps her head on the ceiling because she can't see anything, because the stairwell doesn't go any further. But Nakano, you're able to see, and you kind of push some of the indigo hair behind your dual horns as you listen, and you hear the butler having a communication with what sounds like the voice of the Badomo, but not quite the Badomo, kind of the timbre, but different. And you realize you have you got to get in and out. You could have seconds to do what it is you need to do.
Go.
Grabbing it.
You grab everything.
No, definitely not. I don't want to make it
So
up.
you got to look for
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Ooh, I rolled a 25.
25.
Hell yeah, Nakano. Yeah.
You know how many times have you guys have just hitting the DC today? It's insane.
So many.
You got nat 20, nat 20, 25. This is insane. So you you do one of those things where you just like I'm a leaf on the wind, watch how I soar when it comes to your like fast 5-finger discount stuff, and you just reach into the pile and pull out one paper, and it's exactly the fucking document you were looking for, like first fucking try. And you're just like, and what you do is that you crease it in half and like lick it and then put it into your clothes, and you're like, let's get the fuck out of here. You grab Mesheni and you skitter real fast down the stairwell as Mesheni can't see anything because everything's super dark, and you just carrying Mesheni through this darkened bootlegger tunnel, and you come out bursting through the gravel, pull it down, and then skitter your way back to the courthouse.
All again with pass without a trace.
Yeah, I mean, like, there was like no reason for you guys to be with how you got nat 20, 25. Like, there was no reason for you guys to have rolled like insane stealth. Like, if this could have taken many more turns for you to try to find this thing, and each turn you would have to roll stealth, but you rolled so high in the first fucking try, you got it and get the fuck out of there. So you guys didn't have to like, you know, be super sneaky about it. You were just like yoink,
Yeah, but I think,
and you got the fuck out of there.
But I think it also, I have to
Yes.
read it, but it erases our footprints and stuff too.
Yes, so I will say you guys can roll stealth as far as, because there are probably still people keeping a track of what's going on. Like, you know, the Vodomo didn't be here by themselves without people watching.
Can't be tracked except by magical means.
Sure. Go ahead and roll a stealth check, both of you.
Add +10 Nakano.
Yeah, add +10, Nakano.
Oh, me? Ooh.
Yeah.
96.
Not far off. 26 for me.
33.
33.
What? Nakano, where are you?
I've literally never rolled anything in the 30s ever playing D&D.
So Nakano picks you up, Mesheni, and
I still don't know where she is.
Skitters. You have no idea where she is. You can't see it. She's holding you and cradling you like a baby, and you still don't know where she is. And she skitters up on the top, and Miles Morales, Spider-Man, just like skitters along the rooftops and finds a way. So nobody fucking sees her. Absolutely no one. As she is just a creature of the night and just skittering through, finding her shadow within the shadows of other things. And you make your way back to the courtroom. And as Sailflick exits the courtroom, you guys are there. And Sailflick recognizes you and is like, and kind of goes up to you as you finally put Mesheni down. You are unable to like enter unless summoned into this thing, so you'll still have to wait until the next recess to join. However, given your abilities, it's very possible that you could, like, somehow surreptitiously allow said documents to find their way into the courtroom. Whether that means like the next witness to be called or whatever, there's a way that could happen. But I think what you do here, as the door finally, you know, is on its way closing and it's finally closed, is Bellario Bengano say, "I call Zari Lotfi to the stand," which could be very bad for you guys. And that's where we're going to end this session. We'll see you next time. As always, stay safe out there. We love you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.